So, welcome back everyone to another episode of The 12, our epic adventure that will be taking place in our homebrewed version of Eberron. If you weren't here for our last session, we called it Session 1 when we were doing it live. It's more like a Session 0, so it went and changed that title. So this will be our first Session 1, so we'll do a bit of background and then jump into the story here. So The 12 will be a campaign about discovery, about pushing the boundaries of a traditional D&D game and what knowledge is possible to gain in the world. The first expedition across the continent of Khorvaire established the high fantasy setting and heroic tropes, and if you haven't seen that, go check out the Requiem. You can see the last few episodes of that on this channel. This time we will be exploring some different ideas, delving into the history of the world, expanding on factions and international relations, and pushing the understanding of what is really possible here. This campaign will travel across the eastern side of Khorvaire and beyond, exploring great cities of industry, wild jungle frontiers, vast open plains and deserts, and the pirate-filled islands at the edge of the known world. Your characters, or these characters, are not limited to any geographical location, faction, or background, and they come from all over. Last time we set up this meeting of the characters where they were spread out from all corners of the world and brought together by this massive, some almost cataclysmic event that took place. And now we find our adventurers as they were spread out across the continent when we began our story. And we started in the seas on a small craft where a Water Genasi Druid named Cade and a fighter and self-proclaimed giant by the name of Sindri were headed south through the Lhazaar Principalities. Within the nation of Karrnath, outside the metropolis of artifice and magical innovation known as Karrlakton, a strange elf, Jasira, worked in the crop fields that line the main road of a grand estate with a dozen other elven workers in strange garb. Within the city, an elven traveler named Gael had searched out the city to become a gunsmith, exploring the latest innovated weapon to be developed in the city, and Boko, another traveler, mysterious and hidden beneath a dark cloak, wandered through the streets, focusing on the sorrow and suffering as he searched for knowledge about an object that he carried. He traveled towards the House of Inspired Hands, where Roland, another man who was working there, caught sight of the strange traveler as he was approaching by a priest working at the temple. Boko asked for assistance on determining information about a small gear he carried, and the priest initially was helpful before he heard Boko mention something about it being infected, and his demeanor quickly changed, calling guards to his aid and gathering the gear into a protective carrier. Roland was curious and made some comments to the guards before the entire tower around them began to crack and crumble as some massive creature from the sky began to attack. Roland and Boko dodged the debris of the crumbling tower and were able to make it through the door before being crushed to find the streets in panic and some meager attempts to combat the massive entity. Boko tried to make his way back into the tower to retrieve the gear as an armored individual, Theschault, suddenly appeared and charged forward, trying to activate some sort of steam mechanism with little initial success. And the tendrils quickly swept over many of the citizens, including Roland and Boko, as they were absorbed, seemingly dissolved. Theschault, meanwhile, dodged around, eventually stumbling into Gael, and both of them also being absorbed. From the estate, Jasira could see the city's griffon cavalry engaging this strange creature in the sky and multiple dragons following behind it, and used the chaos to try to escape. But she was unable to pass the gate before the tendrils absorbed her as well, and many of the other elven workers. All these dissolved individuals found themselves within dark chambers, disoriented, without clothes or possessions, and paralyzed where they hang in these large, aberrant cells. They all feel the attacks and roars of the dragons and are thrown through strange temporal distortions before the ship emerges, damaged and on fire, from some sort of portal above the small craft that was sailing on the sea. Wanting to avoid a collision, Cade dove into the water, but Sindri held on as a massive wave propelled the ship towards the land. Cade swam towards the shore and together with Sindri investigated through the debris of the crash, freeing one by one the people trapped in the wreckage. All without any possessions, the survivors now try to put together where they are and what to do next, stranded on this island. So, survivors, as you are here stranded on the shore, without any possessions outside of Sindri and Cade, what would you all like to do?
First point of order, stream is frozen for all the players.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so happy whenever that changes. Oh, that probably did not help.
There we go. Now we're back.
Cade is gonna turn towards Quartz. Not that this isn't fascinating. Perhaps it would be best if we found our stuff from the wreckage. I have a few things that might help, and a spare change of clothes for at least one or two of the females. You know, maybe one less naked body running around.
And you do see that there are at least a dozen, if not two, other individuals scattered around trying to find things in the wreckage, looking around, all of them without their possessions as well, trying to find makeshift coverings or some just trying to find things to survive. You see multiple of them have injuries that they're trying to deal with.
That then, my herbalism kit is in there. Perhaps we can deal with some of these injuries. You want to help me out, Quartz? I am a bit tired from swimming to shore.
Sure. But it's pretty nice out. Actually, where did you guys leave your stuff?
Well, no, I meant let's find our backpacks first. So we can use our supplies to help them, seeing as we had food, water, clothing, and a few of my personal possessions that are in that backpack.
Yeah, sure. But what about their stuff?
Yes.
I assume. Who's next to me?
Right now, you're next to
Clyde, right?
Yeah, you're next to Clyde, and some of the others are kind of nearby. You guys have gone through about 3 different sections of the ship that have been broken that are in near view, that you have pulled people out of. And so they're all kind of roughly around you. Everyone is kind of at least past the initial shock. They're more trying to survive at the moment than worried about their own kind of coverings, but everyone is roughly within view.
Alright. Should we look through the ship? Does the ship seem like it's gonna stay together, or does it look like it's gonna collapse at any moment on just everybody?
So what is in front of you, at least what has been in these, are kind of pieces, are these chunks. Not so much a craft or even a creature, but what almost looks like a large piece of flesh, like an open organ that has these small chambers inside and these kind of tendrils, flesh-like pieces that have just been ripped out from whatever it was connected to.
Alright, maybe everyone should get off the ship before it tries to digest us, I think. Is this a ship? Should we call this a ship, or should we call this a thing?
Well, I think it was flying, so should have been a ship.
Yeah.
Ships
Everyone,
can fly?
everyone, let's exit the
I
thing.
don't think we need to leave, but I think we need to get our stuff first, or we're not going to be able to come back for it. Are there any other corridors or entrances to this ship?
So all you've seen, at least for now, actually go ahead and make me a perception or investigation check.
Sure.
Also, real quick, while he does that, we've got in the chat that the music is a little loud compared to the players, and I'm not hearing any music, so I don't know if that's just another kink in the channels.
Appreciate it. I'll look into
I
it.
have a 4.
So yeah,
What does a 4 investigation get me?
looking around, Clyde, you don't really see any, there's not anything connected. Again, it's almost as if you maybe imagine biting into a fruit where you just have that chamber itself that has a hole in it where it was torn away. There's nothing connecting to it. There's no chambers, no halls. It's just a single, each one of these pieces where they've been kind of broken off. It just looks like there's just that one area where you all were kept. and there's just the kind of cells that were around the exterior, and then a small kind of pod in the center.
If you want to go and try to find our stuff near the water, where it's dangerous, I can help break stuff that their stuff might be in.
Yes, I'm gonna kind of take a look around and kind of just like assess the wounded, and I'll step on something like mildly, like that'll put me up just like a head or two above everyone else, and be like, "Hi, everyone. I know a bit of healing. If any of you are severely injured or are very concerned about an injury, let's exit the ship, and I will do my best to help you out. My traveling companion here is going to investigate the ship and attempt to find some of your belongings."
You see immediately as there's one figure that steps forward, kind of fair of skin with this shorter hair that comes back behind his head with gray streaks through the side and a thick lined mustache across his lip as he speaks up. "Oh yes, I think I hurt my wrist. I could really use someone to look at it. It's quite dreadful. And I know that some people seem to have misplaced their clothes. I don't have a problem with anyone seeing me, but we might want to look into that. Does anyone know where things are?"
No, this is a ship, and we're on an island. Does that help?
Well, I did put that together. Thank you so much, Rock Boy. But I was talking to the woman up there who said she could help. Would you mind looking at this? And he kind of holds his hand up, holding the wrist.
Does it look broken, or does it look like you like scraped it?
Even just taking an initial look on here, you don't even see a scrape or anything. There's no visible damage on the exterior. If he's hurt, it is something beneath the surface.
Okay. Yes. Let's get off the ship, and we're going to go with those of you who are bloody or have visibly broken bones first. And I'm gonna kind of like just start picking those people out and like trying to like help them through the wreckage to get off the ship and somewhere a little bit brighter and safer.
All right, so as Cade begins to kind of help some people out, and you can see that some people are taking their own initiative, kind of doing their own thing, but some are kind of following after her as she's the only one who is kind of clothed and helping out from the side. In the meantime, what are the rest of you all doing?
As that's going on, Roland would have gotten out of his pod and just kind of like shaken the goop or whatever out of his eye and looked around, seen everyone without their clothes, looks down, sees he's without his clothes, and just goes, starts brushing himself off, and then just strides off, seeing if he can also find a corridor and anything like a loot chest at his feet where he emerged. Anything that might have
starter chest just appears.
Yeah, starter chest. There we go.
Boko's gonna approach the hammer-laden young fellow
the keep
while that's happening.
Yeah, if you Roland, if you want to roll me a perception or investigation check, your choice. And Boko,
I know exactly which one of those two I'm rolling.
I know, big shocker. Boko, you said you were doing what?
Boko's gonna approach the small, strange-looking fellow that is completely laden in large hammers. And approaches without saying anything. He doesn't appear uncomfortable in any way, but just simply walks up and very matter-of-factly looks at the young figure and says, "At your ship, do you have tools of any kind?"
I have a set of mason and smithing tools, but I think they're back on looks back over the ship. They're somewhere over there at the moment. Your smithing tools, may I use them, please? Yeah, that's fine. If you can find them, you can use them, and that'd help me not have to find them near the water, because I don't want to go on the water.
Thank you. And he will fall in line to follow this individual back towards the boat. Score!
You would be following not me, but Cade.
Yeah, Cade's heading out kind of towards the shipwreck, away from like the flaming thing that fell from the sky, because it's probably going to be easier to triage out there and not in this monstrosity.
I am going to ask if anyone would like to join me to smash things and search the place, and I'm just going to start going down a random corridor and break anything that looks like it might contain things.
Youngster, I can help you with that.
Roland is already like taking a very detailed look of like not disturbing things and just like trying to find where stuff is, and then you come in with a hammer and he's just like
Smash, smash, smash.
I see you like, do you want a hammer?
Well, if you're just handing them out, I would love something.
Yeah. I'll take the like 70-pound maul off my back and hand it over to you. Is this
Okay,
good?
I believe I cannot hold that. I believe that weighs
That is a little much
twice
for
as
you.
much as me.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not that one.
I have the smaller hammer, but the other one's a bit heavy for me. I have a pickaxe.
Well, sure. It's better than punching this with my fist.
I'll hand you one of my pickaxes.
Oh, right.
Excuse me. Do you, by any chance
Did you want
have
that
a
back?
knife?
No. I have another pickaxe.
DM, any chance I can swing a pickaxe as a martial weapon?
You can certainly try.
No. Just will you let me use it as a class of martial weapon?
It is a hand axe, is what it is.
Oh.
But it's a pickaxe. So
Yes.
I have a pickaxe, but it is the modified hand axe.
Yes, it does count as a hand axe if you try to use it as a weapon.
I'm just wondering because if it's martial, I can use it to cast my spells.
I think it would count as a simple weapon.
Yeah, I'm
but
looking. I think it does.
I think for
Yeah, it's a simple weapon.
I think for your stuff, it would probably work for simple or martial.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to specify for martial there if it does.
Okay. Cool.
Alrighty, so Roland, as you're looking across this before Sindri and Clyde come in to start smashing through things, this is unlike any material that you've ever seen. It looks almost organic, and yet you've never seen an animal or a creature with anything like this, but it is almost fleshy, and those tendrils that you saw, there are similar long pieces that look like they were pulled apart whenever this detached from the main craft. And you're seeing that the cells themselves don't have any sort of physical restraints. Whatever was holding you aloft, it was some sort of magic. But at the same time, there was no one casting it that you could see. There was no one around. And so it just seems so strange and alien to you. And then you see these cells are arranged around, and there's probably about 6 or 7 of these cells per chamber, that at least that you can see. There might be more before it was sundered and ripped apart. But at least of the ones that you can see, and then they're all kind of circled around a central pod in the middle. And just as you're headed that direction, that's when Sindri and Clyde begin to come through and start swinging through. And you do actually see as one of them kind of swings into the side of this pod and opens it up slightly, and there starts to be some liquid that slowly spills out.
Okay. Does Clyde see the central pod?
Yes.
Alright, well, that thing's no good, y'all. We should stay clear of that. But we can smash anything else.
What is it?
And Clyde, you do see
it's
that
no good.
that Sindri had already partially broken into it, and there's some liquid that is just seeping out of the side.
Ooh. Careful with that.
Can I get a little bit of a closer look at that and just kind of see?
No, don't get your eyes near it! And Clyde is going to try and tackle Sindri away from it.
Tackle Roland or tackle Sindri?
Yes, whoever is trying to put their eyes near it.
I'm not putting my eye near it. I'm just getting a closer look and like crouching
Okay.
away from it. I'm smart enough to not touch it. You are welcome to attempt to tackle me.
No. If you're not putting your face, if you've got like a 5-foot gap between you, I'll accept this.
He's just trying to ascertain if it's acidic or caustic or anything like that, or if there's like a noxious gas wafting towards him. He's not gonna go.
Just don't stick your eye in there. Very specific.
Roll for motorboating.
All right, so you kind of take a look, and you can see it almost emerges from the floor of this chamber, as if a mushroom growing from a cavern. It kind of has a small stalk at the bottom before it opens up into this bulbous pod, and there's looks like 6 or 7 flaps that kind of hold it closed on the top, and then one of the sides has been partially broken open, and you see this almost greenish fluid that is just slowly leaking out of the side. And Roland, with your keen eyes, at least from that distance, you can see that for a moment the liquid is kind of pulling out at a pretty even pace, and then for a moment it's kind of stopped and starts to trickle, and then there's kind of a pop sound as something slides out as well onto the ground in this puddle that is forming, and it resumes its kind of even flow.
Something slides out.
Yes, something
Is
came
that
out.
its stomach?
Clyde would like to attack the thing that came out.
You just see this halfling as you kind of murmur there's something just goes into the puddle and begins smashing it with the small
I'm
pickaxe
backing
into the
away
puddle.
from the splatters of green goo.
Yeah,
I will observe what the green goo does to Clyde.
There's splutters going in every direction, and he's just whacking it, but Clyde still, this just even stream is coming out of the pod.
Completely calm, too. Just, nope. This is just no good. No good at all. Whole thing here.
What is that?
No good.
In the pursuit of science, it's better to observe.
Yeah, science gets you fucked up, though.
Lack of science got me fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Is more gonna fix it?
It has so far.
Well,
If I can find the things that science fixed for me,
I don't
which
think
you may have just attacked.
Science, so to speak. This is fucked up.
What is it?
I was trying to find out.
No good. That's all I know. It's no good.
He's gonna look for a stick to like pry at it from a distance and see if he can fish out the thing that popped out and see if it's a piece of equipment or like an egg.
All right, you begin to kind of look around for a stick while we're doing that, and Cade is leading a good group of these people over towards the ship to see what they can find. Jasira, what are you doing in the moment? You and the other elves had kind of just beaten one of these men as they just lie, again, without any possessions, but now just beaten beyond recognition. And now you see as multiple of the elves are kind of looking around, unsure of what to do, seeing as some of these people who they've been pulled out with are walking away. Some of them are searching the debris. What are you doing?
Well, once she's done beating the shit out of the guards, the very first thing, she's searching for her jewelry. Searching everywhere.
Roll me an investigation check.
We'll see. Oh, fuck. Here it is. Investigation. Oh, also, I get to roll that at advantage as I believe it's a trait of...
Yeah, it's a racial trait.
Yeah. Okay, and investigation.
So, in the chamber that you and the other elves were in, you kind of search around, and you find one of these elves did not make it. her body kind of lies limp in the cell where it was, unmoving, kind of bent in a wrong direction. Some sort of injury just snapped her life away. But other than that, and other than this weird central pod in your chamber, there's nothing that you see. There's no sorts of containers, no sorts of items at all. There's no handles, there's no doors. Even the cells that you're in, there's no foreseeable way to get them to move. And as you look at them, they almost hang limply, like just a creature or a sea life, maybe, like an eel or a fish that has died, where it just hangs limply. But as you kind of move it and touch it, it does kind of respond, but it has no rigidity to it anymore.
Super. Oh boy. Well, she is gonna slightly start losing her cool. Hey, Freya, I'm talking. Sorry.
So is there how does she lose her cool? What is she seeing? What is she doing?
So how bright is this? Is it fairly open air right now?
That's a good point. I forgot to mention that. So you do see that the sun is beating down. It's probably midday, and it is so bright that your eyes are holding shut, and you can barely look to even see around. You're more feeling than seeing, and you can kind of just see as if you were squinting your eyes, but it is pinpricks of information that you're getting from your eyes. And all the other elves have now, once they're done with what they were doing with the guards, you see that most of them are on their hands and knees or sitting down. Very few of them are risking standing, and even so, it's very steady. Anyone else who's still around, whether it be Roland, Sindri, Clyde, Boko, you also see this, as well as these elves in particular. All of this very gray-blue skin with this bright white or light blue hair are all very, very affected by the environment here.
Ain't see. Yeah, she will join them on the ground and crawl in the nearest direction. Just at this point, what has she got to lose? She's gonna search and scour for her belongings.
And then Gael, what are you doing in all of this besides looking for your hat?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Outstanding. So after not finding my hat and being a little bit huffy about it for a few minutes, I am still around this ship thing, and I hear just a really tremendous commotion coming from one of the other corridors around me. It sounds like there might be 3 guys who are swinging hammers around like they're trying to bring this place down on our heads. And so I want to go see what they're up to, because I don't know what's going on right now. It sounds like they might have an idea of what they're doing, and whenever I do end up finding them, I just say, hey, gentlemen, does anybody know what is going on right now, or where we are, or how you have some stuff with you still? Well, I just found you. I didn't lose my stuff. And I think my friend Cade knows where we are.
Alright, so did most of you get picked up by the giant tentacle thing in the sky? I think that's what got most of us.
That was me.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that all the naked ones did.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Did it only attack people bathing or something?
No, I was riding in town. I was just out on the road.
You were naked in the streets?
Oh, poor Henriette.
Hey, don't judge.
Did it attack like a nudist colony or something?
No. It only took clothes for some reason. The weird dudes with the tentacle faces.
I've heard stories of this. Well, you said that you found us here like this. Did you see this thing crash down onto the island here, or did you see anything? Was it in a fight with something, or did something attack it?
It was dragons. Dragons? Big red ones. Tore shit out of them.
What kind of dragon?
Well, big ones seemed. Did I see what color they were, DM?
Clyde and Boko, you both saw as the head of a red dragon tore off the side of your chamber and breathed fire into your chamber.
Damn, it's big red dragon I saw. Tore this thing right out of the sky.
I've read about them. That sounds so cool. I didn't see them. I only saw the...
You know, it's much cooler from a distance, I can assure you.
Austin, would I know that red dragons are generally of the evil persuasion?
Roll me a history check.
Alright.
That is racist.
It's in the book.
Said in Sindri's voice.
Can I give him an advantage on that history check? Going through...
Yes.
Because I am proficient in history, just to help him.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
As we just start kind of discussing it,
Yeah.
let's take a look. See there. Ooh, thank you for the advantage. 16.
So yeah, according to most folklore, myth, legend, dragons haven't really been seen in really outside of a few rumors here and there. They haven't been seen in probably a century, but according to everything that you're familiar with, red dragons are known to be some of the most evil creatures in the world.
So,
So the red ones aren't really great, but I mean, they took this thing out, and this thing was really not great, if I'm being honest with y'all.
Does that mean
what
this ship
confuses me.
is good and you guys are evil?
No, I think this is the more an example of we got caught in between a bunch of assholes.
Is that...
that about
What does
sums it
that
up.
mean? Well, I guess there are a lot of naked people here, so I guess that could happen.
Again, we didn't start naked.
I mean, this isn't the first time I woke up naked, but
I would hope not.
So did they strip you down after kidnapping you?
chaotic.
Apparently, I was running through the streets, and then I'm here. None of my stuff is. I'm
So your
looking
stuff should be
for my
here
stuff.
somewhere.
That is
So
my
we keep
assumption as
smashing.
well. Yes, we continue smashing.
Yes.
I wouldn't smash too much. You all look down and you see a small creature. You didn't even notice him come up, but he is looking closely at the edge of this chamber where you all are. And it's a small lizard-like creature, red skin, long snout, and a tail kind of curling about the size of Clyde. And he just is on his hands and knees kind of looking through, inspecting whatever this is as well, similar to what Roland was doing when they started.
Before everyone started smashing.
Yes. I would definitely follow what the halfling had to say and stay away from the pod in the middle. And Roland, about this time,
What's coming out of it, though?
as you've kind of been searching through the goo and you kind of find something and begin to pick it up. Well, I think this is what we call a nautiloid. And you begin to pick up this thing out of the goo and you see what almost looks like a small tadpole that's just been flattened. But you see that the tadpole itself has these tendrils that are hanging off the front of it.
Yeah, let's not touch those, and if everybody could just move back a little bit. You see, this is a nautiloid. This is a rumored ship of a creature called a mind flayer. I don't know if you all have heard of those things, but they're not very good.
Have I?
You can roll a history check for me.
Have I?
Too, yeah.
Because I think those creatures are... Well,
Clyde's never heard of
shit.
a fucking mind flare. What the fuck are these things?
So, Sindri, even they've never called them mind flayers. You're not familiar with that term, but you have heard a term for something akin to brain stealer in the language of the giants. And these creatures are so feared that even in the dark caves that you come from, there are rumors and legends about them. And Roland, you have definitely heard of mind flayers and even know their proper name of illithids, that are these just creatures known for being exceptionally gifted at a particular type of magic that affects the mind, known as psionics. And that these creatures specialize in aberrant flesh weaving to create things that are neither completely man or machine, but these beasts that have been turned into their vehicles, that, as this small little kobold is describing, are apparently called nautiloids. And Clyde, you are familiar with mind flayers from your travel, but in this moment you are just shocked and stunned and horrified and are not really hearing anything, as this just realization just hits your heart as all of this, where you are and what's happening, is just weighing down on you.
Absolutely.
But yes.
That doesn't look as scary as I imagined.
Well, these things are not as scary, believe it or not. These are just their, I guess they're sky ships, if you would call it that. They're almost a creature unto themselves, but I've certainly never seen one up front. I don't think anyone that I've talked to has. Hey, Jasira, get over here and look at this one.
And he kind of calls over, and you see another individual standing about the same size. This one more humanoid, of kind of a fair skin, and just this wild hair that is spiked in all different directions in bright brown, but aging features in the face and long ears extended behind the head. As this gnome comes forward. What have you got, Jasira? Go. Did you find something else?
Yeah, if you look at the striations here in this pattern, it seems that this is, well, there's 3 pieces, but they all were connected to something.
And he kind of looks up the hill.
I think if we follow the path up that way, we might find the core ship, and if I'm right, that could be where our clothes and items are. With something like a disapparition, they have to be temporally stored somewhere in close proximity, so somewhere on the ship, and these chambers don't seem to have any sort of storage containers on them, so I'm gonna go take a look up there, and any of you that are interested can certainly follow along, though we might want to make...
already stealthing up the hill.
We might want to wait for some more stronger
He's going
people.
ahead before Clompy and Smashy come behind him.
I'll go with you, but how do
you might want to be careful. Who knows what's surviving?
And he kind of calls after as Roland is already headed up and away.
The eager ones, you can't hold them back, Jasira.
Are there going to be more of these creatures up there? Not the little ones that are in the container thing, but the big scary ones?
Are there any... Yo, that fucking container. Everyone stay clear of that.
So Sindri, are you asking about the creature that came out of the sky?
No, like the bigger version that the brain stealers. Are there any of the brain stealers here?
Well, I have no idea. I assume somebody was flying it, but I don't have any idea how these things actually work. But I plan to find out once someone big enough to stand in front of me goes along. I don't know where that one guy went. He's already gone. But I saw a lot of strong people headed towards the boat, so I'm going to wait for them to get back, and then I'll let them know, and we can all head there together. And hopefully some of us will not die.
Do we want to go to the main boat, or do we want to wait? I don't really know.
Probably better to do this in forest if all of our stuff isn't here. Tell everyone all their stuff's over in the main part, and maybe they'll come with us.
Alright.
Let's give them a chance.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. What about the other guy?
I think he's gone. Hey, the guy! Clyde will yell. Do you want me to make a check to see if he hears me?
No, I'll leave that up to him. Your voice carries up on this open beach. He hasn't gotten that far where if you yell, he's certainly going to hear it.
Yeah, he hears it, but that yell is specifically why he's taking off on his own. He wants to look at it before someone smashes it.
No,
hustles a little more.
he's got his own thing he's doing. We can't stand his way. Let's go get
Roland is
everybody
going
else.
to illustrate why they're called brain stealers.
Eventually.
So of all the people who might have a shot completely naked, Roland's not too bad on that scale.
Do you blend in with the sand?
I don't know, is it perfectly white sand?
Alrighty, so Cade and Boko, as you guys have been headed towards the ship, the sailing craft, you've got a good contingent of people, maybe about a dozen individuals who are following you, ranging, you see mostly humans, looks like maybe a couple elves or dwarves here and there. There is one individual who very clearly stands out, mostly because without any possessions or without anything that they're wearing, these figures are not so much defined by what they wear, but by what they look like. And most of them are fair-skinned humanoid races. But there's one who has a dark gray skin. They're not very tall, maybe about 5'4", 5'5", and completely shaved on the head with these dark lines, 3 across the top of the head and 1 over each eye. Their skin is almost a gray, their eyes a bright, bright blue. And it is almost unsettling in that you have no idea what they are, but they stand out, but they walk normally with the others, and you can see some people are kind of giving them eyes, other people are focused on you, Cade, as you lead everyone towards this ship, and you do find the remnants of your sailing craft just broken in 2 main sections on the beach.
Rip.
My ship. I'm really gonna miss that. I'll steal another one later. Okay. If you're too injured to do anything, sit here. If you're not severely injured, let's look at the ship. Sorry, yelling at the dog. If we could look through the ship, find my backpack and my companion's backpack. I have 2 sets of clothing. Whoever finds the backpack, you can have 1 set of clothing. My herbalism kit is also in there, which can help tend to your wounds. So, I'll start looking at the severely wounded if others want to look for the supplies. It also has food and water.
And you see as kind of this group begins to kind of spread out. You see 2 red heads running off in one direction. You see a couple of dwarfs, one kind of supporting the other as they walk forward to one section of the ship. A couple of individuals who, by their haircuts and their hairstyles, you can tell are probably either noble or trying to appear to be, are kind of more watching, waiting to see if they need to get involved. There's also an older woman with long white hair who's kind of looking through, examining. And then you see just sitting on the sand where you told the grievously injured to sit, the man with the mustache who holds his hand and just waits casually. And then Boko, what are you doing as Cade kind of gives these directions?
Boko would have probably been the last to leave the line, because he would want to see if there were any people that were more than grievously injured. But seeing this man who he already seems to not like is the only one sitting there, he will aid in the investigation of this ship and try to find specifically the thieves' tools that the young giant said were somewhere in the wreckage. Sorry, the smithing tools.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I don't have thieves' tools. Look.
So, does anyone else sit down? Like, does anyone else actually look like they might have like a broken bone or something that actually needs healing? Or is most people just like scrapes, bruises, cuts, kind of that thing?
Roll me a perception. Actually, let's do an insight or a medicine check for this.
Okay, the same anyway.
Can I also look?
Yes, you may. So as you look around, Cade, you see that probably the most injured is one of the dwarfs, whose arm is just drenched with blood. You can see that their hand holds over kind of the top portion of that arm while they're trying to continue to move and search out. And they actually, you can see that they're actually missing an eye, but it seems to be an old injury. And then the other dwarf is actually missing their entire hand. Again, appears to be an old injury. But these two seem to know each other well enough and are kind of helping each other through. And despite the injury, he's still searching through, still helping out. And you see as he's actually the first one to find, those two are the first one to find the herbalism kit. And Boko, if you can roll me an investigation check as well.
I will roll up to the one dwarf, even before I see the fact that they've found anything. That looks pretty nasty. You want me to take care of that now? You should have sat on the beach. I could have taken care of that right away.
I appreciate it, lass, but this is the least of my injuries that I've had. It's been a long history for me. I'll be alright. I can help out until I need to sit down.
No need to, let it get infected or anything. And,
he thinks
Cade
you're going to
will...
insult him if you help him out. The other dwarf kind of pipes up. Just let him be. He'll find his own. Once he collapses from blood loss, you can help him.
Before he even finishes that sentence, Cade just takes her staff and just gently taps the wounded arm and casts Cure Wounds on him.
Alright, go ahead and roll that up for me.
Oh no, is the curse of the character sheet back?
Oh no. Alright, while you look into that, I'm going to get to the other things for Boko. Boko, as you're looking around, you kind of follow after a few others who kind of head to the front portion of the ship. There's two red-headed girls who are just almost sprinting ahead first, and you can see that they quickly find the backpack and kind of hand out the pair of clothes between them. One of them kind of immediately starts putting them on, and one of them kind of holds it out to the older woman who's kind of looking through some of the debris. And you kind of follow after them, quickly kind of spying where some of the tools are, and you just kind of scoop them up as you go. Looking around for injuries, there's an older gentleman who seems to be human, kind of speckled grain white hair that has just a tinge of the red color that it once had when he was young, who seems to be sore, but so he's moving slower, but there's no visible injuries on him that you can tell. And Cade, outside of those two individuals, and the man who claims his wrist is hurt, from here it doesn't seem that anyone else is majorly injured. Anyone else who had a major injury probably didn't make it this far to the ship.
Okay. When the two dwarves find my backpack with the herbalism kit, I kind of just quickly open it up and just double check that that my spyglass is still there, and then that is not harmed in any way.
Yeah, and as you quickly look in, you do see kind of the glisten of the bright blue color of the spyglass, and quickly kind of grab it and slide it into your cloak as you kind of hand the herbalism kit away. And you see that the dwarf whose arm is missing, you see that he kind of catches the glow and just kind of looks at you with a big smile but doesn't say anything.
Well, I can use the kit. It's got a few decent seaweeds in there that are very good for wound healing if anyone's got some scrapes. Salt water, not the best for long-term healing. Bones a little bit. But let's gather up and see what we can salvage. Austin, just for frame of reference here, I was charting the course towards Cliffscrape, and would probably know where we were on that route. Do I know this island?
So you had checked kind of the course at the beginning of the day, and you've kind of been keeping rough track. Whenever the ship happened, all hell kind of broke loose. You know the general vicinity that you're in, and that is, I believe it's the Eel Strait is what I said last time, but I can confirm. And so just knowing the proximity, you definitely know that it's one of maybe 2 or 3 islands. And if you give me a second, I can tell you what they are.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, where is my map? Alrighty, so yes, you were traveling through the far strait headed south. And so where you were just kind of coming around the corner. And so you're most likely either on 9 Bay Island, 7th, or Thrug.
Okay. 9 Bay Island. Or what was the second one?
7th. It's an island known as 7th.
Okay. I guess, check here, do ships frequent here? Is there likelihood that someone else might have spotted what the hell just fell from the sky? Or is this it might be a while before someone passes through?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a history at advantage.
Okay.
So this particular strait, there's not too much that happens along here. For the most part, Thrug and 9 Bay are not known for having really any resources to speak of. Nothing that keeps people from just passing through. And the straits here are fairly narrow. A lot of the trade happens a little farther north around Tantamar or a little farther south around Cliffscrape. So this is kind of the area in between where some travel does happen, but it's not often. So there's a chance that something could have seen you, but you didn't see any other ships the day that you were traveling. So it's unlikely, at least for now. Though in the future, there certainly could be a ship that comes by.
Okay. I kind of so I grab my spyglass and I tuck it away, and I kind of take a deep breath, and I kind of circle up, and again, I just kind of step up and project my voice, and I just say, okay, lot. From what I've heard, you guys are from not around here. You're in the provinces. You've traveled a bit, and we're on 1 or 2 islands, and unfortunately for you lot, and unfortunately for me too, this is not a popular trading route. So, the likelihood that there is a ship that will save us in a small amount of time is low. Which means that we're going to have to get comfortable, which means that we're going to likely want to build shelter, find water, and eventually find some food. But I suggest shelter first, and then we'll see if there's usually some fresh water around here somewhere. Do any of you have survival skills? Used to living out in the harsher climates or environments? And I kind of look at the dwarves and I give them a nod, you probably know a thing or two.
Yeah. When you ask that, Boko also steps forward a few paces. He has a backpack, Sindri's backpack, slung over his shoulder.
Yeah, you do see as multiple of them either step forward or raise their hands. You see the 2 red-headed female girls step forward, as does the older woman, actually. And the dwarves kind of give you a nod back in return. And you do see a couple, that older gentleman with the red-white beard, and then a younger man as well, who are kind of standing side by side, both kind of raise their hands up a bit.
Well, perfect. This won't be as painful as I thought it was going to be. So, yes, let's see if we can make something of this poor destroyed bird. So pretty.
The man with
let's see if we can make some shelter for the night.
The man with the mustache stands up. So when you say it's going to be a long time, do you mean like an hour or 2? And another man next to him just kind of puts a hand on his shoulder. Octavius, that's enough. We're going to be here for days. If we're lucky, don't make me eat you. And you can tell that it's sarcasm and heavy sarcasm, but this man is obviously as fed up with him as you all are.
Boko looks at the hammer that's sitting in his hand, like seriously considering it for a moment.
It's just I have a performance that I have to put on. It's at the Light Bright. It's our first opening act, and I would hate to miss it, you know.
I think you're gonna have to take a rain check on that performance.
You're saying that? Oh, you down there? Well, hello.
So, I think I know where all our stuff is, or at least the kobold does. Seems to know a lot.
Oh, marvelous. I've been missing my cravat something furiously.
Only problem, big chance of death. So, you wanna go first?
Yeah, there might be brain stealers, apparently.
Oh, well.
Guarding it. So anybody want to help get
How tall is this individual?
The one with the mustache?
Yes, the one talking.
He's actually one of the taller individuals. He stands a few inches above 6 feet.
You look like a fine gentleman who should lead the way to go get all of our items. I'm sure everyone would appreciate it. And I am trying to influence this individual to leading the way.
Would you like to roll me a persuasion check? Or intimidation if you're trying to do that subtly?
Double. Oh, cool. 2 nat 1s.
So,
I haven't had my booze today, guys. I really need my alcohol. It's rough.
This man just kind of pushes past you and kind of like hands a hand on your head as he walks by. He's like, I would love to lead you all into battle. It will make a marvelous epic. I could tell it in my next performance. Oh. This is wonderful. I am so glad that I thought of this. Now, all of you come this way. Let's see. Lieutenant, that is you. Well, tell the missus that I say hello. Yes, if you would come with me and, Mr. Vaeko, I suppose you can come as well. You two over there. And he points at the dwarves. How are you all with the fighting? You know, I've known a few of you who have been handy with a hammer or an axe. Are you talented as well? And they kind of just look and kind of give kind of an eye roll before continuing on. And he's like, marvelous. Well, come on. Anyone else who can throw a punch, come with me. We'll get our stuff back and bring it back here. And all of you will be telling the marvelous story of Octavius Bartholomew Burglo.
I shouldn't have spurred this on.
And he begins to lead them off up the hill.
Does anyone actually follow him?
It's a bit reluctant, and it's less of following and more like, well, we're gonna do this. We need our stuff following him, but we do need to get our stuff.
Don't worry, Les. I just wanted him to go first to catch the worst of the shit. Now he's just a little too full of himself for it, but it works.
Look, everyone, just maybe pause for a second. If it's potentially dangerous, I do think we should prepare just a bit more. Are any of you capable of wielding a scimitar or a dagger?
Damn it,
I'm good right here, Les. He gave me this pickaxe. That's all I need. We'll be good.
What did you say, Colleen? What
I asked if anyone was capable of wielding a dagger or a scimitar.
I don't wield either, but I'm good with this.
Yeah, so you see Boko, who's already standing beside you and has the pack on one side, just kind of reaches out for the dagger.
I have a second pickaxe.
Yeah, Cade reaches down, reaches behind her and slips it out from a concealed spot on her back and hands it over hilt first.
And then as Boko reaches out to take it, almost as an afterthought, he just presses it up against his arm, and the sort of oaken vines wrap around it, making sort of a pseudo sheath for it. But he just carries on conversation with Cade like it's nothing, and he says, "Around here, fish seem like a good source of food for everyone."
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I swim very well.
Good. Later, we will go fishing together.
How did you do that with your arm?
And he sort of looks at it and he goes, "It's a long story."
That's very cool. I haven't seen anyone be able to do that with their arm. I mean, I can make plants grow. That's something I'm capable of, but I control water myself, but I can't control plants on my body. That's fascinating.
Boko places a hand on her shoulder, almost reassuringly, but very awkwardly, and simply says, "When I take it off later, you may take a look."
Oh, fascinating. And you touch her shoulder, and Cade looks very humanoid. Like, her skin, you know that she's not human, but her skin is like a pale blue, almost white, and so like if it wasn't for the fact that she has very long ears, like it would almost be human color. But when you touch her shoulder, it comes away as like your hand just feels like slightly cool and like mildly damp.
Moist. Interesting.
Get my bandages wet.
But, excellent. Does anyone else want a weapon before we go up to the potentially dangerous area to get your items?
I have a second pickaxe, if anyone wants a pickaxe.
I think...
And
Nope.
Did I not say it out loud, or did I get covered up? Roland was going to take that pickaxe when you offered it to him to search through stuff.
Oh, okay.
If that's okay. If that's not considered a retcon.
And
I
just
think-
so you know,
I'm pretty
it
sure
is
that-
a hand axe, is the stats.
Yeah.
Oh, so strength-based. Fuck.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't need it for attacks. I need it for spells.
But Cade, as you were kind of handing out weapons, one of the men
Yeah,
did
never
come
mind
up
then.
to you again. That man with kind of the whitish red beard, who was called Lieutenant earlier. He kind of comes up. If you may, I can recommend Captain Brozur. She's the best swordsman I know. And he kind of points to the woman that you now see again in that dark gray skin with the shaved head and the black eyes on her face. She's been quiet but helping out.
The name ring a bell at all to me?
You can roll a history check for me.
Are we walking together as this is happening, or are we still standing on the beach?
Yeah, everyone is either kind of picking up the last few things or headed up. Yeah, Cade, the name doesn't sound familiar, at least to what you can recall.
Okay. I'll walk up to her though and be like, I've heard you're good with a sword. Would you like to temporarily use this? And I'll pull it out and I'll hand it out kind of hilt first again.
I prefer something a bit longer, but it'll do. Thank you. Oh. Sorry about that. But yeah, she takes it and says thank you.
But it'll do.
You okay there, David? I'm sensing some past trauma.
No. I'm good.
Gotta throw him a bone every once in a while.
As we're walking, you said the beach eventually turns into like a foliage, which is where we're going, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Can I just every time we like pass by some patches of shrubbery or greenery, Boko just wants to stick his hand in and start pushing things aside. He's very specifically looking for a thorny plant.
Uh-oh.
Just the first one he can grab.
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. That's pretty okay.
Nice.
So, it's a good bit of distance that you all are covering as you're headed up this hill, kind of traipsing together. And it takes you quite a few plants that you're looking through, but eventually you do find something thorny. Again, almost as you're there, doesn't appear to be very common, but as you're searching through all of these, kind of picking out the ones that you know to be most common, you do find like a long, thin vine with not so much a rose thorn, but kind of just these thin white bristles that grow thickly along it.
And Boko is just going to reach out with his prosthetic, pull the dagger off, and just slice a chunk of the vine off, and just try to meld it with the prosthetic. Just keep it very close, because he's going to need that for a spell later.
All right. And go ahead and roll me a dexterity check as you do this.
Oh, danger. Flat dexterity. Here we go. That's not terrible.
Yeah, so as you go to sort of try to grab this thing, it's thick with these spines, almost like a cactus, but it's a vine. And you kind of try to grab it as best you can. You only really kind of bristle your fingers a bit. It stings a little bit, but no real damage, and you cut it free and begin to fuse it in. All right.
Interesting.
And, as the rest of you...
As we're going, yep. I'm gonna hustle my way up with my short stature to try to be more in the front, as I'm the only, and kind of be the armored person in front of the masses of naked people.
That's why I said pompous one ahead. Oh, it's always the young ones.
I think I'd make a good friend. All you kind of are unprotected.
How tall are you, Sindri?
I am 3.5 feet.
Yeah. So all he sees is really assholes from the back, guys. He's got to be up front.
Clyde is very, very happy in the center of the group. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, like accidentally hitting inappropriate places. I'm trying to like get in front of people.
Accidentally.
Yeah. So I'm just basically full on jogging to try to be able to walking pace.
All right, so yeah, as you begin to head up towards the front of this group, we are going to shift over towards Roland, since he did get a head start on this. Actually, but real quick, I do want to check in with Jasira. So Jasira, you said that you and the elves were all kind of hanging together. As you see this group of people walking past, are you going to stay where you're at since you can't see, or are you going to try and follow after them?
Well, the real question is, what type of commotion is she hearing? Like, does she actually, like, how far away do they sound? If she is fairly impaired on vision.
They went a good ways away from you, but since then have begun to kind of come back and pass you once more, and they are now kind of heading up a hill away from you all, and there's not too much commotion. It's mostly just kind of talking back and forth as these people are trying their best to understand their situation and where they are.
Well, she's pretty content not being noticed. Therefore, she will kind of use that information of the direction they're heading and try to crawl that direction herself to see if she can get some relief from the blazing sun and maybe see a little bit better in the foliage. So she's going to try and crawl to the foliage.
Alrighty. So we'll get to that. And then Roland. So Roland, you are headed up towards this craft, or towards this wreckage?
Yes. As stealthily as possible, taking my time, trying to, like, I'm guessing I can see like a trail through the dirt where something dragged and tumbled. He'll go off to the side of it, skirt around it, keep it in sight, and just make his way slowly up there and take his time to pick through the underbrush without making a sound and stop and listen for any movement ahead. He's not looking to engage anything, he just wants to get a look at it before loud and ostentatious shows up.
All right, then go ahead and roll me a stealth and then perception check.
Alrighty. Stealth. there. Watch it be a nat 1. Nat 3. Okay, cool. Of course.
That's how it goes.
And then perception. Nat 20.
Hey!
Very nice.
The thing that I'm not supposed to be good at, nat 20.
You were so focused on seeing, you weren't focused on hiding.
Yeah, just like steps forward. Ah, shit. I hear someone. Ah!
That's when you make perfect eye contact with the person that's staring at you.
Ah,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, I see a map change. That actually I can't see a map change.
There shouldn't be a map
Darkness.
change yet.
Darkness.
The screen went black.
I say I see darkness.
My old friend.
What?
Yeah, our map just went fully black.
Oh, I must have hit something that I didn't expect to hit. Maybe they changed the keybinds on me.
How dare you not be perfect?
What? Oh yeah, they definitely did. Weird. Okay, so hopefully
Get
the
more
light
drink.
on this works. Oh, I know what happened. I set the light on the wrong page. Whoops. Can you guys see again?
Yeah,
Yes.
now we're back to the portrait of the island.
Yep, it's
There
good
we
now.
go. Okay. My apologies.
Although, if
He's
you're
prepping a
needing
battle
to
map.
show the portrait of the island on stream it's just a black square as well and has been the whole
Well, they're
Yes.
behind us.
Well, no, it's purposely a black screen because I'm doing stuff on
Okay.
the screen. And so whenever I
Well,
have a bunch of
yeah.
menus up, I try not to put it on there.
That is fair.
But yes, let me transition you guys here in just a second. Okay, that should fix that. Alrighty.
Ah. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a thing.
Okay.
So along the beach, not uphill. Got it. Yeah,
Yes.
he's gonna stick to like the woods then, basically.
So yeah, you all can see that from the crash site, there's kind of the first 3 triangles that have had those chambers in it. And then the one furthest down the beach, and actually it's probably closer to that. The one
Okay.
farthest down the beach is where you all are headed now, and where this trail kind of leads. But you are on some sort of island, and you can see that it stretches up further up to some sort of mountain peak at the top. At least where your vision can see at the moment. You all continue and eventually come to our crash site.
All or just me at this point.
Roland, you'll be first. So
Okay.
with that perception check, we'll... Oh man, I don't know why. Oh, maybe that is what you can see.
That is a large sky hentai.
Uh-oh.
Now a
just happen
ground
to have a
hentai.
map of a crashed Nautilus.
I come prepared.
Beautiful.
That's kind of amazing.
Okay. And Roland, as you're up there, you do see as another individual has kind of wandered up this way, and he's kind of a average height human man with kind of some dusty hair, and he's just in shock of what he's seen, and kind of looking around
Shit.
at the ship, and kind of looks around and sees you, and kind of like waves an arm over in your direction, kind of motioning for you to come up, and he's kind of just hiding behind this rock at the moment.
Do I see anything else going on in the ship?
You see this massive ship creature thing with these tendrils just broken off in the front, these parts of it that have been ripped away. It is currently on fire, as you can clearly hear the flames and see them kind of smoking up in the distance as this large shell on the back is just ground into the beach.
And that's it. There's no other movement. There's no Davy Jones action going on.
There's no movement, but it is still making these strange sounds.
Ah, there's the sounds.
Ah, soothing.
The sounds of home.
I guess since he was spotted by someone in a daze, he's not that hidden. So he's gonna go ahead and kind of look both ways and then dash across the area and wave him back to meet him behind the rock.
All right. So you begin to wave him backwards, and he does kind of follow you back there, and kind of looks at you. What do you think of that? It's like nothing I've seen before.
Oh, I've seen it once, right before I was pulled inside of it.
Wow.
I heard a small one saying that my stuff might be inside. I want my stuff back.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about too. I wouldn't mind, putting on some clothes, and I've got some things in my bag that I hope I can find again. But I mean, the same thing. Well, I assume the same thing happened. I was in the streets, and the thing just came out of the sky, and those tendrils hit me, and I thought I was dead for sure. And before I know it, we were here.
Clothes can rot. I need my gun. And my sword.
You've got one of those, and he kind of makes a gun motion with his hand.
Finger guns.
Finger guns.
I do. I did. I'm hoping it's in there. I spent a lot of time and a lot of money on it.
Well, if we do find it all, I'd like to see it. I've never seen one up close. The name's Garrett, by the way, and he kind of holds out a hand to you.
He'll tentatively take it and just go, Roland.
I don't recognize the accent. You're not from Karrlakton. I mean, we get plenty of travelers, but normally I can tell and pick up where they're from.
I'm as much from Karrlakton as anyone. And he'll attempt a smile and kind of turn away. That part of the conversation is done.
Yeah, and you can see he returns the smile and picks up enough to know not to push it any further. Well, should we go in or should we wait for the others? I haven't seen anything there, but it kind of freaks me out.
I'm not sure when the others are coming or how much noise they'll be making. You stay here, I suppose, and if something happens, run for help. I might get a closer look.
Are you sure you don't want any backup or something? I mean, you know what? On second thought, I'm not very good in a fight. You know, I've never actually
and I move best
been in
alone.
a fight. Oh, well, I guess that works well then.
It works perfectly. Yes.
Okay, then I'll watch here.
If I signal, run for help.
What's the signal?
I will probably scream. And he will move off.
you leave him kind of horrified in this moment as you begin to move off towards this craft.
Yeah, he'll get a closer look, kind of see if he can clamber up on the rocks, get a look from above. He's a bit exposed, but he'll do his best to try and keep a low profile and take what cover he can as he approaches.
Yeah, and it's out on a beach. There is a bit of a rocky ledge here, which is not too hard to climb, so with the time you have, it's no trouble at all. But there's not really a whole lot of cover. There's some bushes, and one of the tentacles itself kind of pulls up on the rock. That might be your best bet. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of pretty much out in the open for most of at least the general area.
Okay, then he'll move quickly and stay low and stay. He's not going to get anywhere close to touching the tentacle. He'll use it to hide behind a little bit.
All right. And is there anything you're trying to do? Are you just looking and watching?
Just getting a closer look, kind of moving up the ledge. I guess he'd probably end up about here. He's going to try and get a look inside, if he can get elevation and look down in to see if there's any like windows or something, to see if he can see movement inside.
Yeah, so based off of the same perception check that you had before, there are no windows. Again, this thing looks not like a ship, not even like the sky ships that you've seen before in Karrlakton. It looks like a creature with just these decks that have been kind of grown out of it. It doesn't even look like the decks are made of wood or metal. It looks like they're made out of the same shell-like carapace that these tentacles are coming out of, but just flattens out to provide a walking surface. And you can see that there are 2 or 3 of these surfaces, and about the third one up seems to be broken open and exposed. But outside of that, there doesn't seem to be any visible ways into or out of the craft. No windows, no doors.
I guess seeing that as the only entrance and being slightly elevated, he'll look back down the beach and see if he can see anyone else.
So you can hear them coming from far off. They seem to be... again, you can see down, especially from your...
I shall lead the way. I know exactly how to handle this mission.
Yeah, especially from your elevated position, you can now see the group of them traveling up the beach in your direction. But they're still a ways out. It'll probably be another 10-15 minutes before they reach the craft.
Okay. In that case, he's going to shift to a bush or something like that and hide as well as he can. And just keep an eye out to see if anything moves. He wants to be able to catch anything setting up for the group to arrive and be able to head off to warn them.
All right.
But he's not going in on his own.
Then go ahead and roll me one more stealth check as you've readjusted here.
All right, you little piece of...
Hopefully it'll be better.
That's
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So taking this time, you have a moment and you kind of duck down behind the brush and still have a good vantage point across all of the decks that you can see. And in the meantime, as the main group has begun to press forward up this beach, you all do make it up and see this craft that is just rising up out of the water. And suddenly a man comes from behind the rock and begins to walk over and kind of waves his hands as you all come by and kind of motions you over. He's like, somebody what to get a closer look? Roland. Roland? Anyway, he went to go take a closer look. I'm not sure how far he went.
He wasn't fool enough to go all in by himself now, was he?
I don't know. He just told me that he was going to take a closer look, and then I lost sight of him up on the bluff up there.
Bluff.
Are you all going into that thing? Can I just follow along with you? Well, he did tell me to stay and keep watch, so maybe I should do that. How do we want to do this? And you see as Octavius once again, well, my good fellow, you've done marvelously, but we'll take it over from here. Frankly, that thing is one ugly POS. So if I could have 2 lines, we're going to head up one from the right and one from the left. And he begins to kind of just point out, and no one is listening to him. They're just kind of all moving past him. And he's like, all right. And so for those of you who are in the... I
imagine Roland can hear him making this commotion from the bluff.
Oh, yes. Very easily.
He's just still in his bush and just kind of mutters under his breath, just...
Look,
sometimes
God
you
you don't
want
have
to
your
know
gun.
this. Sometimes less is more, and Clyde's going to walk up to Sindri. Sindri, how do you want to get into this thing? 'Cause I'm gonna follow you. You seem like you're eager sort.
I will join you too. And the two dwarven men come up beside you.
I guess we can't be sneaky at this point since we've been yelling. So, I guess through the center?
Seems... Well, I don't see another way in, but I'm gonna tell you I'm not gonna go first.
I can go first. I'm very hardy.
That's good on you. Well, you keep thinking that, but you gotta make sure that you stay aware of everything. And Clyde's gonna give Sindri a bardic inspiration if he's gonna go first.
All right.
Nice. Alright. I guess I will lead the group, and as I walk, you'll notice my skin that looks kind of rocky, seems to look even more harder and more like stone, and it seems to almost solidify around me, and I'm going to be casting Blade Ward on myself as we walk up.
So when it's time for action, you start to stiffen up?
Yep.
Gotta love that performance. All right, and then Gael on the back half
small,
of this group. Are you
grower, not a shower?
There seems to be kind of two groups. Goodness. Gael, there seems to be kind of two groups forming. One that you can see that has a halfling, a couple of dwarves, a small stone child, maybe, as well as the woman who's kind of been organizing things and is one of the few who has clothes, as well as another small group who have kind of a few humans together. Which one are you kind of headed with? Are you staying back with some of the others who are kind of holding up the rear?
I'm going to jump in with the group that's heading towards the ship. If any chance of me finding my hat any quicker, that's going to influence my decision.
Alrighty. So then we will have one group that heads off here, just so that we can kind of pull you guys together. And then some people are kind of hanging towards the back.
As we're heading up. Wait, do I have the pickaxe or not? I've completely lost track, but I have still the pickaxe.
You had two at the beginning, right?
I think,
yes.
Clyde has one of yours.
And Roland has the other. Yep.
Roland did take the other one?
Yes.
Okay. So never mind.
Yeah,
I have no more pickaxes.
I have your backpack.
But he just wasn't very as happy about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can still use it. I'm just not going to get sneak attack.
And I'm wearing nothing but your backpack, so...
Outstanding.
Are the straps
That
that
is
covering
the
my
most
nipples? Like, that's the important part.
Probably not, because it's super tiny and like the straps are super
really
tight.
Small. It's like a
Imagine like trying to put on a preschooler's backpack,
I don't have much experience with that.
Oh my
especially with a wonky arm.
It's like having a really, really tight gym shirt on. Just
Oh,
4 sizes too small.
Oh goodness. But yeah, so you all are kind of headed up to this craft from one side, while the others are headed up to it from the other. So how are you guys approaching this?
I'm just walking straight in. If there's seems to be a walkway in the front of it, I'm just going in.
Clyde's walking about 5 feet behind Sindri because he seems very over-eager and prone to getting himself killed.
did I see anything as they were walking up?
No, with that perception check, it is completely still. Again, there are still those kind of distant sounds that the creature or the boat, the thing is still making. But other than that, there is no movement outside of the fire that is still spreading around.
Okay, then once they are actually on the creature and nothing has happened, he'll join them.
All right. And so, Sindri, you kind of see the easiest way is up some of the tendrils onto that first deck and then taking the stairs up to where the carapace is broken open and it seems like you can get inside.
All right. I will go that way.
Austin,
Mm-hmm.
real quick, while we're still on the beach, probably hearing the same noises, I want to pull out my spyglass, and I would like to use its properties to, like, observe, like, to try and discern information about the creature ship.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Can I also roll the associated d6?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sorry. Yes, go for it.
I'll program that in here soon.
No worries.
It's thinking. Okay.
Okay. So as you look up at this, you do kind of simultaneously get these feelings of both this warmth of kind of a summer sun on the back of your neck, as well as that knot in your stomach when you're on a stormy sea. And so you get weal and woe.
Okay. I kind of like, there's almost like a small shiver that goes down my spine, and I kind of just breathe in, and then I'll collapse the spyglass and tuck it back in underneath my cloak.
All right. And then Noah, were you able to catch the audio on those portions?
Yeah, I've been listening since about like 8:10. So I've been kind of following where we're going.
Cool, awesome. And so are you headed up with the group inside the craft?
I don't see why not.
All
Might as well
right,
go see what it
perfect.
has to have.
Perfect.
Would you like to... Oh, wait, I don't have anything access.
I am gonna just gently walk up by Quartz, because he's the only person that I actually like kind of know, and just tuck down and be like, "There's definitely danger on this ship. Keep an eye out, okay?"
Aye, Captain.
And then I'll kind of like take 2 steps back again because I'm gonna be in the front.
See, this is when I get brainwashed, and then I'm no longer the front.
Oh, that'd be sad.
You're still the front. You're just now the front for the other side.
Yeah, it's just a different
It'll be
front.
fine. It's fine.
It's always fine, right up until it's not.
See, this guy gets it.
All right. So Sindri, you begin to head up onto the craft as the fire raging around, and the creature just kind of, as you step across it, it's not hard. It's not like walking across the deck of the ship. It's soft and squishy, like you're stepping on sponges. And you, every time you step, there is almost like a pulse that meets your foot.
Oh, I don't like this.
Oop, as I just lost roll 20.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
I had to reload.
It decided to quit.
It's still going. I think.
Mine had to reload. We'll see in a second. But yeah, the 2 dwarfs are both like, we don't like this either. Unnatural. And then you hear from the back, well, I think it is quite fascinating. It will make a wonderful addition. Could you describe to me what you're feeling from up there? And you look down, and as Octavius is kind of on the edge of the tendrils calling up at you all.
Roland kind of tiptoeing down one of the tendrils after seeing that the other people weren't poofing after touching them, calls out quietly, as his voice has a tendency to do, I'm feeling that you should be quiet. And then continues to walk.
You know what? That might be a good idea. Just take mental notes for me later.
And then as he continues to yell, Roland turns and fixes both eyes on him in a glare.
Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check.
Okay, so I don't have the feats in here yet for... But I'll just roll it now, normal and fail, and it'll be funny.
But
Yep. 5.
There's definitely a gaze focusing in on him, but he is in his own world, not paying attention to the harsh critique that you are sending in his direction, but he is just not receiving in this moment. Yeah.
Oh, jumping in real quick. Cade, hearing the banter and mildly annoyed, I'm just gonna flick kind of just like the end of my hair and shoot out a little thing of water, and I'm gonna just shape water a bubble right over his mouth and keep walking. His nose, just his mouth.
So, as you kind of pull this liquid out of the air and shape it around Octavius's mouth, it appears, and he kind of like looks at you in kind of alarm and just.
Oh, miss, I wish you'd have done that sooner.
Just gonna lean in. Hey, there's no need to worry about it. I don't know if I'd maybe pick up as much around these folks. I'm sure that we can find plenty of things for your strange exploration here. Tell me if you can find any metal, by the way. Just keep walking.
He puts a hand on your shoulder.
Yes, my good man. I certainly wish I knew what in the world you were saying. Anyway.
The one eyebrow that Roland has left raises, and he looks towards Cade with kind of a half smile and nods, and continues walking down the tentacle.
It gives him a wake.
Down the tentacle. Ew.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Boko's gonna go stand next to Cade, because she's given him a knife, and after that little stunt, she's become his favorite person.
Alrighty, so we've got Cade, and then Boko, Clyde in the middle. Put the dwarves up there, and then Gael, Theschault, and Octavius, and Roland kind of catching up on the side here.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way,
the exact path you took him on, he was going to hop down onto the next tentacle and run up it to the deck.
To clarify, I am still short all my equipment. I simply have like some semblance.
Don't worry.
Covered.
95% of everyone here is naked.
Oh, good.
So
yes.
Well, in that case, it doesn't personally matter to me, but yeah.
There are a solid 4 people that have clothes now.
Yeah, I'm wearing a backpack.
No matter.
A couple of us have weapons too.
Yeah, a couple people have weapons and no clothes. Some of us have backpacks with nothing else.
For what it's worth, I would rather be able to find some semblance of metal before I found any sort of pants. But it's fine.
Do you have pants? Sorry.
No need.
All right. So Sindri,
Since I am leading with my tiny little legs, everyone is easily able to maneuver themselves with my slow, tiny person pace.
yes. Sindri, you were the first person to enter past the broken carapace, and you look in across this dark purple floor, and you see these walls that stretch up, and it looks like you're in the middle of a stomach. There is just organic tissue covering the walls. There's these small ledges that seem to be growing what you first think is mushrooms, but then almost looks like massive bacterial growths along just the edge where this, the ridge where it rises to meet the wall. Looking forward, there's something akin to a door or to an opening, but it is just broken open from the blast, and you can feel the heat of this fire as it is just raging outwards towards you. And inside this, you see from the light of the flames these small pools where this light pink purple liquid just glows ever so slightly. And the flames in here are beginning to light things on fire and spread into this interior chamber.
Okay, I don't think I've been eaten before, but I feel like this is similar to that experience. But I think less violent. I'm going to step into the room and be very cautious, looking around to see if any of these brain stealers pop out of a corner somewhere like the boogeyman.
Alrighty.
I'll just have my hammer out, just ready. Like.
So moving cautiously up towards the door, you do kind of have the hammer at the ready. And I'll go ahead and move Cade and Boko in as you both step into the doorway as well. And you can see again, it looks like you are traveling through the organs of some massive creature. This does not look like a cave. This does not look like a building. It looks like organic tissue. And yet there are these things that have been built into it. These pools that hold this liquid. There are these ledges that have this, again, what looks like bacterial growth, but it almost seems to be purposeful in a way. And this chamber now, as you all just kind of catch from the light of the fire, these what would almost be doors in the broadest sense, but are much closer to the way that a heart valve opens and closes. But they have just been sundered open, and you can see this interior chamber.
There are chunks of organic matter just like everywhere.
Yes.
That's being really nice towards it, because I remember what these are supposed to look like in Baldur's Gate, and they are definitely buttholes.
Can I pick up just like a big chunk of organic matter and just put it in the backpack?
Sure.
Thank you.
Wiggliness in the backpack.
Sorry, Sindri.
He would have collected some as well, because he was curious in the beginning. Just had nowhere to put it. Sindri's gonna look back at Clyde. Do you know what these are?
DM, does Clyde know what these are?
In the most assumptive state, no. Everything in here looks completely alien. You've never seen anything remotely like this. You have no idea what they're even picking up or where they got it from.
Well, my new little friend, I'm gonna say this looks like what we call guy hentai.
It's canon now.
It's here to stay.
I don't know what that means. I will.
When you get older.
I'm not that young.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Can't tell with the whole glow and green stuff. After we get some clothes and we figure this out, we're gonna have to talk about who we are and what we're doing.
I'm gonna start walking forward with my hammer at the ready still.
All right.
Half expecting something to jump out of these pools.
Oh, that's where we are. That's why I can't see anything.
Yes. You guys may need to shift your camera as I move
right.
you. Yep.
Austin, if you shift click, I think you can drag everybody's focus there.
Yeah, I've got to get everybody there first. I'm dragging the tokens now. But yes, as you move forward, these pools don't seem to be moving, but you do see one of them, a light and shattered, is actually on fire and is spilling out this purple liquid all over the floor. And you can see what appears to be brains actually floating up in the water. They're graying and just completely covered in this goo. But they do appear to be brains.
Moving?
What?
Are they moving?
You can roll me a perception or investigation check if you want.
Yeah, Sindri's also gonna want to do that. Actually, I think Sindri's just gonna smash one and see what happens.
That is not what I was trying to click. Sorry,
You may need to after he smashes one.
my roll 20 was being laggy.
No problem. All right. So Cade, as you're watching, the entire room is still outside of the flames, looking up the side out of these, and it is extremely hot as you have to pass by some of these flames to get into this chamber. But Sindri just kind of steps forward and moves right up to the first one and just splats it all over the ground, and just like a brain would, it just flattens out as this goo just goes up in all directions, and some of it splatters across his boots.
Can we please search before we smash?
He squints his eyes.
I think smashing's pretty good in this case.
I gotta admit,
we found their lunch.
I think I agree with him. I really just don't like all the smashing bits. Could we not maybe just look around a bit?
Well, the last
Smashing
thing that looked squiggly
people
was
were
alive.
here.
I'm pretty sure the burning wreck is gonna give it away.
Let's just keep moving. I'm sure these people want their stuff before it goes up in flames.
Smashing also breaks stuff.
I only broke one of their lunches, and if they're not here, they don't need it anymore, so it's fine.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When Cade introduced herself to everybody, did she introduce herself as the captain of the ship?
Cade just said Cade, and that's all you got. You would definitely...
You referred to it as my ship a few times, right?
Yes, I would have said that, I would have introduced myself just as Cade, would not have said captain, but it would have been casually mentioned as, like, my ship when we were going towards the wreckage.
Then, yeah, Boko is just going to reach out and just press lightly just a finger to Cade's arm to get her attention. And curiously, he's just going to say, as captain of a vessel, where do you think the best place would be to pilot this creature? I will follow your intuition.
I mean, there has to be a helm somewhere. Likely you would want something rather centrally located, perhaps a little higher on the ship.
And as you look...
Assuming this works like a boat.
As you look, Cade, in front of you, past where these pools are, there is one of those ventricle-like doors that is kind of blown open again, and you can see what looks to be these ramps that begin to rise upward, and there is one of the doors that is still closed on the other side as well. So the one that is open is here, and the one that is closed is past it on the backside there.
I mean, likely following up is probably the best thing to do.
You're the boss. And then I will start making my way slowly in that direction.
Making my way up, brain. Walking fast, smashing things with my hammer.
Not stepping in the
Alrighty. So you all begin to move further up. And Sindri and Clyde, you do both see as there are these kind of rising areas to the left and the right. And Roland and Theschault, Boko, Cade, you all just hear this sound. Slight bubbling.
On the left or the right?
Cade, you hear it on the right. Theschault, you hear it on the left.
At the sound, Roland is going to back up after cutting off Octavius and just be like, "Oh, so sorry. How rude of me. You go ahead."
And he steps forward, and these bubbles begin to boil and rise, and out of them you can see things are beginning to emerge as these small creatures begin to pulse out of the pools. And I'm gonna need everybody to roll us our first initiative.
I knew we should have smashed them.
Well, that's certainly not good.
You were
You smashed the wrong thing, though.
Yeah, you smashed the thing that was already smooshed.
That's why you smash everything. Then you don't have these problems.
Yeah, to be fair, though, Clyde was kind of right about not putting your face near any of these things. Right?
Very much.
Does seem quite true.
Damn.
Man,
Hey!
not 20.
Druid on point.
These are some sad initiatives, though.
Maybe the druid can talk
one.
to him.
At least we're all clumped together and slow.
Yeah. Except for one. Two people are fast.
Wait. Hold on. It didn't go to the turn tracker, so I'll just put myself in there and then update my number.
It's fine.
Sounds good.
We all see it.
I still rolled higher than everyone else on the second one, so.
True.
Thanks for that.
Whoops. This will be a very interesting fight for
Yep,
some of
healer's
us.
going first.
I'm not a healer. I'm not a healer.
Crowd control's going
You're the only
first.
person who's healed anyone so far.
That is
You
true.
kind of identified yourself as the person who could take care of severe wounds right up front.
Alrighty.
Not a healer.
So let's capture that. Oh, and we don't have her up first, do we?
Uh-oh.
You what?
Yes.
Oh
Nat
no!
20. Oh my goodness.
As we all bow and go, yes, please, go ahead.
After you, my kind sir.
Please!
Please show us what these things are capable of.
Would you kindly get fucked?
As he steps forward, he's going.
Long mask.
An orb of water over his mouth and a bug over his face. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, this is
Gets stabbed in the gut. The orb of water just turns red.
How long does shape water last? I think it's only like a minute, probably, right?
I have a
I
feeling she's
would-
keeping it up.
I would have kept it up, like, when we were walking towards the ship, but I wouldn't have expended the energy to, like,
No.
keep it up.
The
Kind of after
duration.
he got the point.
The duration is instantaneous or 1 hour.
Oh
Poor guy.
I see this is the opposite of a problem.
I see this as an absolute.
Always done a
So
spellcaster.
would she have cast it with the intent to keep it up for an hour?
I mean, I would have cast it with the intent to keep it up until he got the point.
How?
And he never got the point.
I
long do you
don't
think that
think
is?
this character can.
Just slowly moving up closer to the nose. Just,
No more tears.
So, yeah. So he is definitely unable to speak right now, and is like trying to get your attention, and is like and raising his arm up in the air as this thing is stepping towards him, and he does take one step back. Cade, what are you doing?
Okay, so, I'll turn around, hearing the bubbling, seeing the creatures, and I'll just be like, well, I guess it's a fight. And then I'll actually start with my bonus action and assume my starry form. So you kind of see, like, for a second there, Cade kind of like puts the staff in the ground, and there's a small flash from the crystal that's at the top of the staff. And along like the very pale blue skin that she has, suddenly just points start to light up, and like it looks like a constellation map goes all across Cade's body and like through her hair and everything else. And then kind of the eyes flash white, and then you see very clearly, because Cade doesn't wear a lot of clothing, like she's wearing like a leather part of the armor, and then like sleeves bared, everything else. You very clearly see the constellation of an archer go across like both arms, the chest, and then out to the other arm.
That's
And so I'm gonna assume the archer constellation for my starry form. And then that's a bonus action, and then as an action, Let's do... Does this bubbly stuff look like acid or like something else?
So it splashed on a Sindri and didn't seem to have any ill effects. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, cool.
Yet.
Yeah, that's cool. I will go ahead and cast Acid Splash at, we'll say this one here.
Right. Is that an attack roll?
It is a Dex saving throw.
Alrighty. And what's the... Oh, DC 13?
Yes.
Alright, so as you toss this forward, this creature is just squirming out of the pool, and you place it right into the pool, but it slides up onto the edge and begins to move towards one of the dwarfs. And it unfortunately does not hit the creature.
Okay, it slides just out of the way.
Yep.
Okay. Well, this will be fun. And then I'm gonna stay where I am, so that'll be my turn.
Alrighty.
I guess reaction, can I, like, drop the shape water?
I don't think you can, actually.
It's not really concentration, so yeah, I guess not. I'd have to actually, like, shape the water away. Okay, he's just gonna be quiet for the fight.
That's fine. None of us will get disadvantage from him howling.
Alright. Gael, that'll bring us to you.
Yeah, so still being a little bit new with the whole combat aspect of this, a little bit. I don't have any armor or any weapons right now, correct?
Correct.
Oh boy, okay.
Yep, nothing.
Beastie cups.
Cool. How big are these creatures? Remind me one more time.
They look about brain-sized, give or take.
Okay.
Can I try to, like, and there is fires in this room, correct?
Yep. There's one right
Is
beside
there any
you.
way I could... Is there any way I could, like, angle and try to kick one into the fire? Is that something that'll fly, or...
Ooh.
That's a great idea. It might... Actually, if you wanted to, you could run towards here, if you want to position yourself right here, and this one has started to crawl out, and you could try and kick it into the big fire behind it. So if you move up to there, and then give me an athletics check.
I like it.
I do too.
Roll for punting the brain.
Okay, and then...
Get him out of here.
This guy, here we go. Okay, anything you guys said, athletics check?
Yep, athletics check.
Boy, okay.
Oh.
You rush
They're
up.
probably not athletic.
You rush up, and unfortunately, these things are just too fast as it just scurries in between your feet like a giant rat, and you just kick up into the air, but just hit air.
Outstanding. Okay.
You a Charlie Brown.
So that was your attack. You still have more movement if you would like, but if you try to move away from it, it will take an attack of opportunity.
Okay, I got you. But that's all I can do remaining in this turn is to move if I want, and then there was something like a reaction was mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I don't think you have any reactions right now. I don't believe so. But yeah, if something specifies that you can use your reaction, you can do that to trigger, and you can always hold your action, and that uses your reaction to trigger that held action. And so you'll just tell me, like, I want to hold a punch for if something gets near me. And then if something gets near you, then you can reuse your reaction to punch it. So that's a reaction that you can always use.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I'm not going to move away from him if I don't have any armor, because I don't want to take damage this early in the game. So yeah, I'll hold a punch if anything comes close.
And one quick thing. So whenever you hold something, you hold the action with it. So since you already used your action to kick it, you can't hold this turn, but you could do that next turn if you wanted.
Okay, I got you.
Alrighty. So that will bring us to Roland.
Okay. One of the things has bubbled up right next to him, despite his best efforts to put Octavius there. And he will go ahead and swing the pickaxe that he has in his hand at it. He is proficient, but it is strength-based and not finesse.
Pickaxe for the win.
All right,
I feel your pain.
So you're moving up to...
I mean, I'm
get into
within
melee?
5 feet with where it is. I can move up as well.
Yeah, just around this doorway, it's just a little bit difficult. If you're trying to attack
enough.
into the pool, you kind of got to be right in front of it.
Okay, yeah, he'll move up and take a swing with the axe.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so that's going to be a strength plus proficiency. So let me just go ahead and roll a d20 plus 2.
Alrighty.
No, wait, that's 2d20. Fuck. First one was a 2, so it misses.
Okay. So yeah,
we're doing good.
You swing down into this goo, and these creatures, they're marvelously fast for being the bulbous brain-like things that they are, and it just swims down deeper before popping up in another spot as you just splash and spray a bit onto you and Theschault, and kind of curse to yourself angrily. Anything else?
Yeah, no, after seeing how fast it is, he's not gonna screw around with this, so he's gonna go ahead and use his cunning action to disengage and back up.
Nice.
And he'll back up to there.
Tactical retreat.
Yeah, don't leave me with this thing. Where are you going?
Nah, you got those two.
Can I, for my interact with an object action, just like toss the hand axe to Theschault? Or leave it behind?
Sure, I'll allow that. Yeah. Theschault, go and give me a dexterity saving throw.
All right, this is about to be
This is
very
tossed
interesting.
towards you and you try to catch it.
Oh boy.
He stabs you with a big axe.
All
They
right.
are throwing weapons.
The only person we've done damage to is our team.
All right.
So he tosses it to you,
The way
and
you
kind
play
of
D&D.
you go to grab it, and it just kind of bounces off your hands. It lands at your feet. It does take up your reaction, and you don't have it quite in your hands yet, but you can still pick it up at the start of your next turn. However, it is these creatures' turn first.
Hot potato.
Uh-oh.
Rip.
And so, as these creatures begin to crawl out of their pools, it is very evident at the start that these creatures blend into the floor really well, and it is very, very difficult to see them. And I'm going to need some intelligence saving throws from Boko, from Gael, from Theschault, and I think that is it. Yeah. So
Okay,
Boko,
guys.
Gael, and Theschault.
As the tank, I did not get attacked. Great.
All right. Oh, that's looking real bad for you there, fella.
Poor Sam.
You're gonna kill a character. You're gonna kill someone on their first fucking game.
I'm not
don't know
going
what
to kill
these are,
them. I'm just
David.
going to alter them
no,
completely.
he's just-
You're right. I have no clue what these things are at all.
No, David, they won't die. They'll just become under my control.
Also bad.
They'll become better.
Better. That
Yes.
exactly. Better.
Hey, that's up
Okay.
for argument, but sure.
So, for starters, Gael. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. You will only take 5 points of psychic damage.
Oh, but that's not
5 is not
is
too
it?
bad. And that goes to stamina points.
Yeah, that goes to your stamina. So that's the normal, what would be your hit points normally. So it should be the bigger number that you have. And you feel
Switch these.
as your own brain is almost pulled towards your skull, as you can feel it trying to squeeze itself out of your eye sockets. It is the most painful thing you have ever experienced, and you just kind of curl up and just pull your arms in as you just squeeze your eyes tight and hold, and it is excruciating. Despite the low actual damage it does to you, the effect that it has towards you is absolutely debilitating. And let me roll some other ones. Meanwhile, Roland, you see as one of these creatures slithers up towards Octavius, and just with a twist of his hand, there is an eruption of sound, and all of you can hear this cacophony, this boom that echoes out as this creature is flown backwards into the chamber away from him, and is kind of splintered into partial pieces.
Hey, now that guy has a plan.
Octavius just
Excuse me,
looks.
what?
Octavius just kind of looks over to Roland and just kind of gives raises his eyebrow at you as the water is still over his mouth.
I will raise an eyebrow in return.
Meanwhile, okay. And then for Boko succeeded as well. So no effect there. Okay. Jasira.
Hopefully that spell you just cast didn't have verbal components.
Oh. Jasira, are you still coming up? You're still a good ways behind people, but they have moved towards
Can
the
I
ship.
see? Has the foliage helped any?
It hasn't really helped yet, but we'll go ahead and put you with the other group that's kind of coming up the rear here, if you want. The elves at this point have all kind of at least heard enough to know that possessions are supposed to be here, and are headed up. I don't have all the elven tokens here, but they're following up behind you. As you see this other group led by a couple of people, one of them who has a sword, the only person who's armored, or who is armed, excuse me. And you're starting to slowly get used to it, so you can kind of make it out even though it's hazy, and it's bright and you're shielding your eyes the whole time, but you can roughly see enough, and you can see that there is shade up on this deck. There is a darkened interior.
Well, not gonna lie. Well, does she hear the combat yet?
No, not yet.
I guess would be the next question. If she does not hear anything, she is running towards the shade. She is like, fuck you guys. I need to see better.
All right, what's your speed?
40.
40. All right, are we full out sprinting, action to dash, or?
Whatever it takes to get to the shade. She just wants to see.
All right.
So if it's 40, full 40. If it's a little bit more than that, we'll do a double, like a dash. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll say with a dash, you can get just inside.
Dope.
And then you hear the screaming.
Yep, as you come up right next to Roland.
So what of this does she see now?
If
she sees what she's seeing here,
yes, she does.
She'll just very calmly, in Elvish, oh shit.
Roland will reply in Elvish. Indeed.
Just to calm
yes,
down.
in Elvis.
Elvis. Finger guns. Yeah, that'll be the turn. We got there. That's what we're gonna do. We'll see what happens.
That'll bring us to Clyde.
Alright, if I step away, am I in danger of an attack of opportunity from this guy?
You are not. No.
Alright, well, I would like to step over here and tell this no good brain that it comes from no good goo, and it should go back to no good hell. And it's going to take vicious mockery, so please make a wisdom save.
Alright, is there any material components with that? I don't think so, but just to confirm.
It's just verbal.
Alright.
Yep.
And wisdom saving throw.
There are material components. One of these.
That's a somatic. That's a somatic.
Also, I think that's the somatic for counterspell.
What's the DC on that, Adam?
DC 13.
All right, it does seem to be unaffected as it's still scurrying around Boko's legs.
Boo, I say.
Well, Sindri, you go on. You take care of that. Go back with the smashing now.
Smashing does appear to work the best.
And Sindri, it is your turn.
Okay. Doesn't look like they're that threatening, just very mobile. So Sindri's gonna step up here and try to take a whack at the one next to Boko.
Make it less mobile.
You do have bardic inspiration, just in case you've forgotten.
Roll to splatter.
Ooh.
20.
Splatter successful.
20 definitely hits.
Oh!
That's 14 bludgeoning damage.
So yeah, you just scrunch down, squishing part of this creature, and you can see now that it has these small little legs underneath it, and you just squish out and break two of them.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's a tough bug.
Alrighty. That will bring us to Theschault.
There's an axe at your feet, by the way.
Yes, there is. Now, the real question is, what would it take to get this into, I guess, swingable order for me?
Picking it up.
Well, right. But, like, I'm talking like bonus action and action.
No, it's just an object interaction. So just like your unsheathing action.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and pick it up first. I don't see why I shouldn't do that. No. The question is, how useful is this to me? I guess there's the one thing right here.
The two next to you.
Yeah, there's two in front of you.
So there is. That's certainly bad. Oh, well, that may just be my best bet, because I just don't think I really have... no, none of these are particularly good, unless this... Oh, wait, maybe this is good. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively, as a bonus action, just cast Expeditious Retreat on myself.
Alright.
Just in case something goes bad, I would just like to have a way out of here.
Any material components with that?
Verbal somatics enough.
Awesome. So yeah, you feel this just rush of adrenaline through your veins as the spell kind of surges through, and you see your muscles just sort of vibrating softly.
All right, good start. Now I need to try and hit one of these things, I can only assume. And I guess I'm just gonna swing at, I'm gonna say, oh god, there really is, I don't like either of them. I guess I'm gonna try and hit this one over here to try and make an opening here.
Go for it.
Alright, I don't know, what am I supposed to roll for the pickaxe?
So it's a hand axe, so if you roll your strength, and if you're proficient in, I think it's a simple weapon. So if you're proficient in simple weapons, then you can add your proficiency as well.
Aha, I am, perfect. Wait, my proficiency in strength?
No, just your proficiency bonus. So strength score, or strength modifier, plus your proficiency bonus to the d20.
Alright, excellent. So that means that this will be a +2 whatever I roll here. You said strength check?
Yeah.
Alright. Ha! Wait, that's actually a 15?
That hits.
Yeah, 15. That's good.
Hey.
Chunk
All
that
right.
bitch. That's what, a d6? I think.
A d6 minus 1.
Well, of course. Don't worry, I got this. Let me just, I'm gonna get him. Take this! Aha!
Alright, and you just chunk down and chop off one of the creature's legs as it just kind of squirms off on its own, still moving.
Aha! Now that's in provision. Now get back here. One of you please go kill that.
Alright.
And I guess I'm still in range of both of these then, right? I mean...
yes, you are.
Can I, like, rotate around to this square? Is that possible? Or without taking attacks of opportunity?
Yes, you would technically take an attack of opportunity because of where this kind of post is positioned. You will be out of attack range because that kind of prevents the diagonal. Yeah.
Yes, that
because these are two openings, two separate openings that are kind of like doorways.
Well, damn it. Well, I guess I'll just stay here at the ready then.
Alrighty. And Gael, you notice as the dwarf beside you is just kind of, his eyes have lolled back in his head and he's just kind of swaying from side to side, not moving, clearly experiencing the same pain that you were. Boko, that's your turn. There's one right at your feet.
Yeah, Sindri gets a really good shot of this, but Boko shifts all his weight onto his flesh leg, and the vines that wrap around his prosthetic, like fibers of a muscle, shift and open up, exposing these mechanisms and ivory bone underneath and unleashing sort of like this cloud of decay. But they form this ivory blade that runs down his shin, and he's gonna lash out with just a vicious kick and try to cut into this thing.
Go for it.
15 to it.
That'll hit.
And oh, well, that shouldn't have been rolled that way, but it should roll damage. That's fine.
Does that not work anymore?
No, it's not auto-rolling damage for me. That's weird.
Oh, If you just click on the word.
Oh yeah.
in the
Okay.
chat,
Okay. Sorry.
it should work.
Just the sheep. And so yeah. So with one kick, he lashes out, cutting into it, and then as he brings the leg, he drops low, draws the dagger, and tries to plunge the dagger into the top of it as well. And the whole time, his face does not change any emotion. He just simply drops down with the dagger on top of it. So we'll roll. Should just be dexterity plus proficiency. We'll add this plus 2 for a 16.
That'll also hit. And go ahead and
D4
re-roll
plus
the damage for the first one.
So
5 and
oh, sorry, that was
8.
yeah, the crit. So that'll be a total of 12 with the leg and then the dagger.
Yeah, so just in 2 quick swipes, just cleaving this thing into 3 almost even pieces, it is quickly dispatched, and all 3 are still moving around, but with no semblance of intelligence.
And yeah, Boko just swings that leg, gets it back underneath him, and fires off of it, and he's gonna launch himself over here next to the dwarf.
Alrighty.
Towards the next creature.
Sindri's just going to be looking at you in awe at your leg. Like, that's so cool.
Although it's horrifically smelly. You get this waft of just like rot off of it.
Sindri doesn't care much about that.
Oh, good heavens!
That's it. That's all I got.
Alrighty. So that will bring us back to Octavius. All right, and he is actually, he is going to, let's see. He's going to step up here, and with another just turn of his hand, another thunderous boom just shifts out from him and hits both of these creatures, splattering one of them into just pieces, and the other one, it'll take some damage. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Splattering both of them. As he just sends a boom out as it echoes, and both of them are just splattered against the wall, freeing Theschault from their presence.
Does Theschault also need to make a save then?
No, he does not.
Octavius is going to be insufferable after this. I hope you know.
Insufferable before this.
You know, I knew I liked this guy. This is a great time.
We'll just have to take him out.
Yeah, he's next.
And Cade, that'll bring us to you.
Okay, so Cade starts with another point of the staff, and I'll go for the one towards right next to the dwarf. And again, you kind of see like, you know, a little bit water-based, so like the staff shoots forward and it almost seems to draw water from her hair, and then it shoots forward as ice, and Cade will cast Frostbite. Not for a lot of damage, but con save.
Oh, I keep rolling with my own dice, forgetting that they are on here. Oh, okay. That one actually fails, and you said that one was the one by Boko? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it's like a quick draw, and then it actually goes into a really smooth motion, like she's drawing a bow, and it's just radiant energy draws back into, like, it's just a radiant bow and arrow, and then I'll follow up with a bonus action archer attack at the same one.
Alrighty, go for it. And that unfortunately does not hit. It's mostly due, not because these things are particularly difficult to hit, but due to the tight corridors and all of the people, you're kind of trying to just barely skim it on the edge, and it just skims across the edge of this craft rather than hitting the actual creature.
Okay. And I like where I am. I'm gonna stay there.
Alrighty. And let me roll. Alright, and this dwarf is going to just pound down onto the one nearest to him. And I forgot to do that last, so it's actually 2 hits onto this one. So that is what? Okay. Perfect. And that will bring us to Gael. Gael, there's still 1 wrapped around your feet.
Oh, super. Okay. And the dwarf next to me is also looking like he is feeling the same effects, I think you said, correct?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Well, can I try to kick it off of my feet just to get free? I mean, I don't know what kind of action I would call that, but...
I mean, it's still positioned towards the fire if you want to try and kick it into the fire again.
Alright, sure, alright, cool beans. Practice makes perfect. Let's try it again.
Now it's more just kicking it off your boot rather than kicking it from the ground. But another athletics check if you want to try that again.
Yeah, you got it.
I believe.
Hacky sack meister.
Athletics.
Come on. Hey!
Hey!
This is
Good news, come on.
a good kick, but again, this is now on your boot, and it just kind of crawls up your leg and moves up your side.
no.
And again, you're not wearing anything, and it just crawls up your back and is now resting right on the back as it moves ever closer up your spine.
Boo, I say. Also, ew.
Oh,
You could say Bew.
As long as you don't say hold still and hold that axe above your head, we're good.
Well, I mean.
All right, Roland, that brings us to you.
But a hammer's fine.
Okay, there's like another opening at the top of this deck, right?
I don't understand what deck are you talking? Oh,
Up here, there's a way out.
I think there's
so there
stairs.
is one of those. Again, it's like a organic door, but it is closed, and then there's stairs that go up, or kind of ramps that go up.
Okay. I need my shit. So we're gonna... Yeah, there's plenty of crap in the way. So I will use my bonus action to disengage again, and my action to dash.
Okay.
And we'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can get to there.
Alrighty. You might have to shift
And
over
I'm
1
weaving
to the
through
left.
everyone, bouncing off of walls, and just dodging any of the legs with brains. Oh, sorry, am I on top of someone?
You're good. No worries. Cade would have to be a little bit over to shoot down in anyway.
Okay. But yeah, no, he's sprinting for the ramps to see if he can get a freaking weapon.
Alrighty. And that will bring us to there. So at this point, I need Boko and Gael again now are the only 2 that need to roll an intelligence saving throw.
Come on.
Ooh.
Come on, Gael. Yay!
Nice. And those are both successes as you feel the presence of these creatures, and it's more just like an intense pressure on the outside of your skull. But this time you're able to push off any physical effects and don't take any damage. And Jasira, now that you are within, it is your turn.
Super. We will start moving forward as the loudmouth killed the ones I was gonna kill. So that's okay. That's okay. A little less
Kill
problems.
something else.
That's fair. I think so. I guess the question is, who looks like they're having a worse time of these 3 in front of me? She'd probably go for who looks the most dire.
So there, you see that Gael has, or this elven man, has one on his back, and he's trying to reach around. And then one of the dwarves is trying to just beat one down, and you see that he is actually getting help from a man with a strange leg that also has like a blade inside of it that has completely just destroyed one of them recently.
Well, That guy looks fine. So yeah, I guess she'll come over to other strange elf, and she'll try to punch the shit out of the one on his back.
Go for it.
And that'll be 2 martial attacks, because it'll be action bonus. So, we'll see. Wow! I'm gonna punch you in the head! Son of a bitch!
You just punch him instead.
I'm sorry.
Stay still! He goes, what?
Just elbow.
You move!
It is what it is.
Yeah, no, she was just gonna try to fucking elbow it, and I
Alright.
guess it's gonna go great.
This is just how shit goes sometimes.
You can automatically make
It
one
do.
more attack as a bonus action if you want, or 2 if you want to
No,
burn a
I
key.
know, I just wanted to see if you were gonna make that hinder me in any way, shape, or
So
form.
you do kind of whack in. Again, this creature is fast, and you kind of whack into the middle of his back as it crawls up now onto his neck. But there is no effect yet. No
Okay.
hindrance to you.
God, fuck. 10!
You swing out that now, and this time you're kind of pulling your punches a little bit, not wanting to hit him, and it completely misses. This thing is just crawling all around him. You want to burn a key for one more?
Yeah, no, actually, if I burn a key, I can still do Flurry of Blows and get 2 more.
So it's 1 attack right now since you don't have extra attack. So the bonus action is just is one of those 2. So with the key, you can do 1
fine.
more.
Let's go for 1 more, just in case. I can only get better, right?
Oh no.
Well.
Knock on wood before you roll that.
Hey, don't say that before you roll.
Oh! Hey!
All right. Go ahead
You
and
underestimate
roll that
her luck.
damage. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
you
real
can't
dice.
even see it, but
not
it's-
just
it's
digi
good.
dice.
I don't
Did
have
you
to
guys-
see it.
Of course
It's
you
a
rolled a
natty,
I
it's
nat
know
20.
Bree. I don't have to see it.
Well, don't worry, I rolled a 3 and a 1, so that's super.
Yeah, she just
No,
burned
it's-
all her bad luck for the entire fucking campaign.
Well, there you go. Hopefully 7 does
Alrighty.
something.
Yeah,
I
you
tried.
smash into it, and it definitely does look affected. That'll bring us to Clyde.
Yep. Clyde's gonna run down and try and smash this thing off of. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and smash this one off of him, off his foot.
It's on his neck now.
Well, I got an 11, so
Unfortunately, that does not hit, as you
Off with his
also
head.
kind of trying to pull your punches to make sure that you don't hit into this elf and accidentally kill him.
well,
That'd be
that's
awkward.
that's what I had with me today. So,
Great way to treat the new guy, everybody.
trying
We're
to
all
save
trying
you.
to save you.
That's Clyde's turn this turn. Come on, Sindri, you're made for smashing things.
Yep.
He has a history of killing characters in their first session that are played by someone named Sam. So
It's true. Alright, Sindri, you're up.
Alright, I am going to... Can I get in the same space as Clyde, because they're both small?
I don't think
am a
so.
halfling.
think you can get in the same space with Gael, but not with Clyde.
Well, can he just can't end in the same space,
Yes,
correct?
correct. So you can move through it.
Okay. Alright, because I want to run up, and I'm going to try to grab the thing on his back, because I feel like hitting him in the back with a hammer, hit or not, is not a good plan. So I'm going to run up and try to grab the tail and chuck it towards the fire.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Alright.
See if this thing can dodge a third time.
Nick, you might want to add a d6.
You do have inspiration.
Yeah, you have inspiration.
Do I have to do it before I hear what it is?
Yep.
Okay, then yeah. Oh, well, that's lame.
Ah,
That probably got it.
missed it by this much, unfortunately, as this thing is still crawling around. It's now
AC
crawled
15.
over the shoulder and is on the chest now, right across the sternum of this thing, as it is just trying to avoid everyone with this.
Guys. Man, that's hard to get. They're slimy.
It is.
It just
Theschault.
passes through my hand.
No, it's the contest. It was a shove.
Yeah.
David.
Oh, well, that's
Oh, okay.
great. So the ones near me are dead, but now there's just the one that's crawling all over.
There's two. There's still one by the dwarves as well.
Oh, well, and nobody looks particularly hurt, it doesn't look like, so I guess,
No, other than Gael, really no one has been too affected.
well, I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good about that last one. Wait a second, is there any sand in here by chance?
There is not.
Damn it!
There is no
I have
rock in
sand in
here
my
whatsoever.
There's no way, right?
There might be a little bit of
Plenty
sand,
of sand
in
on the
shoes.
beach.
Yeah.
Proud to say, walk about 5 feet backwards.
I have plenty of sand in my shoes. Is the only.
You probably have some between your toes, actually, because you're barefoot.
Yeah, hold on, wait a second. Like him here.
How much
Check your butt.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure you sat in the sand at some point.
Actually, that is a good point, but still.
Actually, Sindri saw it. He's short enough, so.
Oh my god.
Well, that's alright.
Oh man.
Tell you what, we're gonna try and step on up and get rid of this thing, I suppose. Again, I'm feeling pretty good. I'll look back to Octavius. Oh, come on, let's go deal with the rest of these. And then, of course, we'll go find all the equipment we need to. And I'm going to try and Oh, right. I'll fix that in a second. Actually, can I fix it now? Let's see. Because I'm thinking, actually, this will heavily depend on whether or not this is actually...
You have shape water as a cantrip?
No.
Dispel magic.
Let's see. This requires an action. No, I'm not going to waste it on that. I'm going to try and hit this thing with the pickaxe. Just get rid of it.
Go for it.
Alright, here we go with this again. It can't possibly, It can't possibly work twice, right?
It does.
That plus 2. Are you joking?
That hits.
What the hell, man?
Alright, well, I guess I'll
Gosh.
go and
So,
roll my
like,
d6
5
minus 1 again.
misses in the
I got him.
You hit it with the back of the blade.
There's always a minimum of 1 damage, so you do the
Let's
1.
go.
But this is definitely something you're not used to using effectively, and you kind of hit it and are surprised and kind of like pulled back at the last second and didn't seem to do quite as much. Matthias is going to kind of move around. Or actually, no, he's right by Gael, so he'll try and pull this thing off Gael as well.
Another attempt.
Alright, come on. We gotta get
Everybody grab Gael.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone grab Gael.
Just throw Gael in the fire. See if you guys
How fire retarded
At this
are
point,
you,
we just need to throw him away and get another one.
He doesn't get it either. Boko, you're up.
God dang it.
Gael,
I'm
stay still.
going to take a page out of Gail's book, and I'm going to go for a punt on this one over here. But I'm going to actually use
It
the
worked
blade
so
that I
well
have.
for him so
Go for it.
far.
Oof.
That hits.
13. All right.
And then if
so
you want to
for
do
that
the
one,
pump, then that'll be your... Does that require you to take the attack action to do the leg?
Oh no, I'm trying to just hit it with the blade. I'm not trying to actually punt it anywhere.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. Cool. So then just the 4 slashing.
Is this thing still up?
Yes, it is.
It only took the 1.
Yes. Seeing that this... Yeah, Boko's gonna go with the blade on this one too, just the dagger.
All right.
If it
And
had a weapon, it would have been a disadvantage.
so it'll be this plus 2, or 19. And then damage is 1d4 plus 1.
Yep.
For another 3. So
Nice. It is still alive though, still kicking. Alrighty. That brings us to Octavius, who is gonna take a few steps forward, and still unable to do too much. And with the tight pact of everyone, his one spell that he can use is not very helpful here. So he is just gonna kind of do the best that he can and kind of watch and wait. And actually, he's got something else that he's gonna do, but we'll get to that in a second. Cade, you're up first.
Okay, I'll do another archer shot at the bugger that's still alive on the floor, and maybe roll 20 will grace me with something higher than a 3.
Don't count on it.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, so I pull back and I get this solid shot in, solid radiant damage in, and that'll be 7 radiant damage to it.
Very nice.
Hell yes.
Anything else?
Yeah, so that's my bonus action, and then, is it still kicking?
Yep, it's still alive.
Okay, I'll send another frostbite at it.
Alrighty, and that is a con save. Let's see if it finally fails a spell. Whew.
Fight that frost.
Alright, as you just cause this frost to just wrap around the edge of its brain, and it just turns this bright blue before cracking and shattering into pieces.
Ooh. The kids, that's what brain freeze does to you.
Okay, awesome. Cool. And then I'll move just over here. I'll stay there so I can still see. And then that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. So, at the end of your turn, the woman with the shaved head and the gray skin comes racing into the interior with the scimitar in hand, and not quite able to get all the way up there. She just kind of takes the edge of the scimitar, and you see as Octavius just looks at her and gives her 2 thumbs up, and she will toss forward this scimitar, and that will hit.
Casually throws a scimitar.
Yes, casually throws a scimitar, and it just pins into the edge of this. It pins into the edge of this this brain creature on the back of Gael, and just takes it straight off his back and pins it into the ground. Alrighty, and Gael, it is your turn.
Pretty impressive.
The creature is no longer crawling on you and is down at your feet, pinned down with a scimitar.
Outstanding. It's pinned down. Well, I'm all kinds of angry now, so I would like to try and stomp on it.
Alrighty. So typically you would have advantage on it in its current condition, but you were punched right in the back of the right in the back on your spine last time, which would have given you disadvantage. So they'll cancel out. So just roll me a straight strength check.
That's a save.
Oh, that's a save.
It would just be the same thing without proficiency if you're proficient. So yeah, as you try to stomp down, it still is scurrying around, and it kind of wiggles free of the scimitar, and is once again up and kind of moving back towards the pool of pink purple liquid now.
Grab the scimitar.
And Roland, that'll be your turn.
Okay, seeing this mess going on, there's now a scimitar in the ground.
There is a scimitar in the ground.
That's very attractive. It's also
So
very
shiny.
crowded.
There's also the ramp next to you.
Books it
Really
across
nice
the room. He hears
scimitar.
the scimitar hits the ground and goes,
Mine!
But one side
Yeah.
is just short people, so, you can just reach over.
he's got roguitis.
I don't think I would have seen or heard that in the commotion overall.
Yeah, probably not. You were pretty single-minded in where you were headed.
Yep. So he's going to get into the ramp.
Okay.
And then take a bonus action to hide and crouch down and kind of hug the wall and get ready to head up the ramp.
So getting ready, you're not going up yet? Or do you want to...
I am hiding first,
Okay.
then going up.
Gotcha. Stealth check for me.
14.
Alrighty. So you
And then going up
emerge...
the ramp to see what's up on the next side, but he's going to take a look around before he emerges.
Yep. You'll need to scroll up for me. But
Yep,
you...
I scrolled.
Okay, so you pop up the ramp into this next chamber, and it's a wider chamber up on this level, and you can see behind you, it almost looks like these twisted teeth that are pulled together in a tight circle on the wall, and the back reaches forward to 4 more of those membrane-like doors, and one of them you can see is blasted open with fire beginning to emit from it.
Okay, and no sign of any receptacles of weapons?
At least for the moment, no. There are 2 staircases that continue upward.
He will go for the staircases.
Alrighty.
How much movement did you use on the stairs?
It was... You've only used 10 feet of movement for where you are right now. So you'll need 5 more to get up the ramp completely, and then from there the movement is as pictured.
Okay. Okay, so that gets up the ramp completely for 5 more. And
That's
then this one has fire right there.
Yeah, and that fire is
top of the
behind.
stairs.
It's behind the staircase. Actually, it's over by. It's coming out of that door or beside that doorway.
Oh, so the doorway is under the stairs.
Yep, the doorway is back here.
Oh, okay. We're gonna start a search. He can't do jack shit without weapons, so we'll go 4, 5, 6 to there.
Gonna meet Mr. Spaghetti Face.
Probably.
Oh,
And we're gonna have to action dash to get a look around. Is that Mr. Spaghetti Face right there?
So as you look into this chamber, you see another pool. This one filled with a light green liquid, and with these long purple tendrils reaching out of it. And in them, you see that it grasps different pieces of clothing. Some dresses, some masks. You see what looks to be guard armor. You see a halberd. All of them kind of floating up in the air, held by these tentacles.
That looks like what I want. Ish. There's a matching door on the other side.
There are 4 total doors. The only one of them is open.
I don't directly see my stuff in that one, so I'm gonna go open this one.
All right, you move up and look, and there is no sort of handle or lever that you can see. How are you trying to open it?
You said they're like ventricles?
Yep.
He's gonna...
All right, as you go and press your hands against it, go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck.
Yes.
I believe.
No, you don't. Hey!
Yes, I do.
Bad,
above
not too bad.
average. Not enough.
That is actually just what you needed to take half damage. So
You don't tell me
will
what I
take-
believe.
You will take 6 points of this is acid damage, actually.
Oh my gosh.
And that will open up the doorway to you.
Do I
And,
see my shit floating inside?
real
Or
quick,
at least something small and easy to wield, like a short sword or a dagger.
you see a bone dagger floating in one of the tentacles in this room. You also see a short sword nearby. And you see a curled saber, actually, that looks like it is made out of a jagged metal that you don't recognize.
None of them are mine.
Not that you can see.
He will stay, because I've already used my interact with object to open the door and
Yep.
take like a quarter of
Yeah,
my
this
health.
is the end of the turn. I'm just giving you the full description here.
I had more movement, but I'm not going to move into the room yet. So that's it for me.
Alrighty. Then that will bring us down to the one last surviving creature here, who is going to try, let's see, it's going to try a different one. Not having a ton of luck on this creature. It's going to try, Clyde, can you go ahead and roll me an intelligence saving throw?
Oh, absolutely.
You got
15.
this.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No tentacles, no brain, bad brain.
All right, so you again feel that pressure on your skull, but it does not make it through. And that'll bring us to Jasira.
All right. Well, since I would consider us all pretty friendly in this clusterfuck, she would like to squeeze past the people and kind of run up towards where Cade is.
We're all
practically playing
past each other.
We're practically playing Naked Twister here.
I know.
We're all pretty sweaty.
Trying to grab the slimy thing that's climbing all over Gael.
Oh, actually, now it's pinned to the floor, so she's like, we're out of danger, I'm getting out. Backflip. Or I'll sneak right past you, if you don't mind.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Yeah, so it's 10. She's trying to go. Is that one? Mm-hmm, thank you. Okay. Okay, so 30 will be here. Oh boy. And so she sees Cade blocking one way. And I know she saw Roland go this way, so she'll probably start by moving another 10 feet just to kind of see what else she can see.
All right, so if you do 10 more after that, you'll see this. And then you have to scroll up a little bit for that.
Scroll up?
Yep.
Ah, very good.
And you do see Roland, who is looking into a chamber in the back.
And so where is the area that said, or that you mentioned had the tentacles with dresses? Is that this fire?
Currently, you can't see where that is.
Oh, cool.
You see Roland looking into some rooms in the back, but that's it right here.
If you want to call out exactly what it is you're looking for.
We'll get to that. I'm just going to make sure I understand the surroundings first.
Yep.
So
there's 2 staircases. There are 2 fires. One is behind the staircase next to a door, and one is raging on the left side.
would it be an intuitive leap to assume that the other pathway that Cade was blocking leads to that fire?
That seems pretty intuitive, yeah.
Super. Okay. So, kind of in her Elvish, that's kind of... It's a very different Elvish than what you're probably used to, Roland. She'll say, you see black, purple dress anywhere?
And are you speaking in Elvish? Or in
common?
Common?
she's kind of just using Elvish for now.
Roland,
I've responded in Elvish before, so...
Perfect.
So she at least knows he can understand that.
There are dresses over there, and he'll point behind him to the other door.
Is that this way?
Yep.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay. She will... will dash and say she uses about half-ish. Just to kind of get a little bit closer, but won't go too much farther yet. She can kind of see in this way a little bit.
Yeah.
Does she see her dress?
As you look
Careful
in
of
there,
touching the walls.
You look in there and you see these long, thin, purple tentacles just extending out of a pool. And you do see that each of them holds a set of clothes. And you do see guards' outfits from the estate. You do see multiple dresses. And you do catch sight of that purple. And you actually see the other things. You see your tools. You see your mask. You see all of them held within this single tentacle.
The fire lights in her eyes, but she's planning her next steps very cautiously. That'll be the end of the turn.
Clyde, that'll bring us to you.
Yeah, I have this brain on me, don't I?
It's at your feet still, but yes.
I would like to kick him into the fire, please.
All right, as you try to reposition and kick around, give me an athletics check.
This thing is slippery.
It is.
So many
as it
attempts.
continues weaving through your feet,
not a soccer ball.
does not get kicked into that fire. It does not want to go in there.
Well, I don't have much else for it right now, so...
Alright, that brings us to Sindri.
Alright, now that it's not on someone's back, I'm just going to try to squash it.
Alright, go for it.
This kicking thing has had too many fails.
Mash it with a hammer! After mailing it to you a ridiculous amount of times.
That'll hit. And how would you like to do this?
Right after Sindri tried to kick it and it swarms out of the way, it swarms right into where the hammer is coming down, and I just smash it into the ground and it kind of squirts out of the sides.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. There's like 6 people like crowding around trying to get this thing. I got it. No, it's over there.
Kick stomp. Ah!
Ha! Good for you. You finally got it.
Alrighty. And with that, you all are out of initiative. And since we are close to this, we'll go for just a second longer. Alrighty. So with that, we'll start with the people down here on the bottom working from the back. Octavius continues to move up next to this woman in with the gray skin, who goes and picks up the scimitar and begins to push forward. The dwarves likewise begin to push forward towards the ramps. What are you all doing who are down on the first floor?
Could somebody get this poor man the water off of his mouth? I mean, not gonna lie, I think that he's probably served his sentence, don't you think?
Please tell me you've already walked away.
Cade is going to walk on this staircase, and like you just see a casual flick of her finger as she walks away, and the bubble around it won't go away.
The bubble kind of pulled off and pulled into pieces as the water is just manipulated and moved off of his face. And he's like, "Oh, thank you heavens. I was so limited back there. You almost died without me. I am so glad that I was able to save at least a few of you from... if anything had happened to any of you, I would have felt terrible. I'm the leader after all." And is just chattering on as Cade, you continue up.
Understand.
Fine work you did. Yep.
Now, what were you going to say to us while we were doing all that? I'm sure there was something important.
You just asked the barmaid her name, and now Austin has to come up with it.
Well, no, I was simply going to tell you all how we were going to strategically take down those things. I mean, have you ever fought an intellect devourer? Do you even know what they're capable of?
Ah, that's a good point. As I go to look down at the ground and look towards him. Well, you've done it. Good work.
I was pretty magnificent there, wasn't I?
Oh, indeed. Excellent work. I say we should get a move on then, shall we?
After you, my friend.
Oh, but of course.
Fuck.
There's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them.
You fools.
Sindri is going to start running after everyone. Like, wait, I'm coming. As like a kid that just got left behind, like trying to get up these stairs that are just a little bit too big to be like able to run up them normally. Just doing big steps. Okay, I'm coming.
Cade had the presence of mind to be leaving the room as she freed his mouth. I feel like as soon as he started talking, everybody's just like, "All right, peace. I'm out."
All right, next room. Keep moving.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
And as you all continue into the next chamber, you do see as the 2 that are open do have things in them. Quickly looking through, Clyde and Boko, and I think that's it for this one. Find your gear in this one on the left. Oopsies. And Jasira, you are the only one to find your stuff in the one on the right.
You're
Austin?
assuming that I didn't steal all the stuff in the one on the left.
Well, you are naked, so I think they would notice.
I mean,
how much
you're gonna stuff it up the old prison wallet.
All right.
You would be surprised, Adam.
not like this.
Just make sure to put the dagger sheath first, or handle first.
Oh.
Austin, quick question. Yeah. So the fires in here, do they look like they're spreading?
They are slowly spreading across, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna use one of my racial spells to create or destroy water, and I'm just going to use the effect that water falls as rain in a 30-foot cube within range, extinguishing exposed flames in the area. So I'm just gonna kind of like do that in this room and have the rain fall and put out the flames.
Alrighty. And as you do kind of pull the rainfall down slowly over time, it does begin to wear away at these flames. In the meantime, for those of you who have not found your things, what would you like to be doing?
Roland is going to be asking folks for help to open the very difficult to open doors because he can't quite manage it.
Oh, well, not to worry, my boy. I'll get up here and take care of it. I'm sure this won't take much.
I can do it.
He will invite Octavius to take the other one.
Oh, Clyde is checking
since he is so useful.
Octavius is kind of coming up from behind, and Sindri already kind of moves off to the other as Theschault and Sindri go towards the doors.
And what do I see?
It is again. It's like an organic door. You see that the one that Roland is nearby has kind of been pushed open, and it's kind of spread.
I'm better with doors that have mechanical locks.
I must admit, I think I possibly would be as well. But how did you get the first one open?
Sindri just takes his hammer and hits it.
Oh, push it easy!
All right, Sindri, go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Are you attacking mine or the one Octavius is on?
The one in front of me.
You swing forward, and you swear that the room shifts, but you slam right into the wall rather than the door.
Hey! There's no need to resort to violence. Watch, we just push it open, and I will push it open.
All right, roll me a con save, Theschault.
Dude, that's...
Oh, no.
You say a con save?
Con save, yep.
You got it. All right.
Oh my fuck.
So you will take 4 points of acid damage as you open up this door.
How much do I take?
4 points.
Ah! Oof! That's a bit of an interesting door, but hey, it's open.
I think the hammer is
Appreciate
better.
it.
But of course, I try my best.
And Roland will step to the side and scan inside to see if he sees his shit.
And Roland, you do find your stuff inside.
And he will go ahead and, as a fervent thank you for revealing his stuff, he will twist a sigil in his hands and cast Cure Wounds on Theschault.
Alrighty.
Hey!
No material components needed for that?
No materials.
Alrighty.
That's some good stuff you got going there.
Healing.
One healing.
Nice.
I mean, hey!
The good stuff.
Wait.
Shouldn't it have...
Wait. It should be plus
should
wisdom,
add your
isn't
casting
it?
modifier.
Could be.
It's your
So
spell
2 healing.
Wait, plus... yeah, you did plus not a
Double.
number. What happened?
Double.
Hey, you know what? It's half of my missing HP. That's a lot of health.
Hang on. 1d8 plus... add ability.
Clarifying question. The tentacles that have their stuff, is it part of like a moving monster that's alive?
It's part of moving tentacles. Whatever they're attached to is beneath the surface of this opaque green liquid.
Oh, that's a bit concerning.
Has anybody retrieved their stuff yet?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Right now people are just moving in to find their gear, but no one has touched it yet.
I'm gonna try to break the door down again.
All right, go ahead and roll me another attack roll.
Re-square my legs.
Why are there dwarves in my room before me?
I just put them in there. They would not have gotten in there before you, but they would have followed you in.
Okay, so I've been meaning to ask if Sindri, as a 3 foot and change giant, can wield this massive maul efficiently, but
so he's using
not the maul.
question.
I'm using my warhammer right now. The
Yeah.
maul is on my back.
oh, okay.
Yes.
I
So
believe you have your
the
answer.
maul is much larger than he is capable of using, and he's using a smaller version that is kind of golden. And once again, kind of swings out, and this time, just kind of again, the whole room seems to shift for you, and you just swing and just hit air and swing back around and kind of slam into Theschault's shoulder, and Theschault, you're kind of knocked off to the side.
There goes that 2 hit points.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. My bad.
You don't take any damage from this, but you are knocked off your feet at this just errant swing. More evidence, apparently, that not to do damage or not to be violent.
Just fall on my butt. Did anyone else see that move?
I gotta admit, I don't know if that thing moved, but you certainly have the strength of a giant. Ooh, may take a bit to walk it off. Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, Roland is pushing into the room upon seeing his shit.
Alrighty, go for it. Are you trying to retrieve it yet, or just moving in to look at it?
I'm moving in to look at it. I'm gonna take a good close eye at the tentacles first to see like what they're doing. He might like see if I don't freaking know
Can Jasira jump in on that on her room as well?
Yeah.
If there's like a stick on the ground that he can poke in there first, or if he can borrow someone's hand axe again from Theschault, he'll ask for the hand axe back and see if he can like poke the haft in there and see what happens.
Well, I would have to ask permission first, as I'm going to turn. Would you mind if you borrowed the?
Roland gave you the hand axe.
No.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Well, I suppose returning it makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to give it back.
Yeah, I'd like to mirror that in my room if possible. Just check these things out, see if they're dangerous before I touch them.
Yeah, you kind of stick out with the dagger or your leg and kind of poke at them, and Roland doing the same, kind of poking with the hand axe. And you see as they move and respond to the touch, but not violently, just kind of flicking from place to place as they are gyrating through the air.
I'm gonna try and hook something out with the axe.
All right.
I'm gonna just reach out and grab it then. If they
you hook out yours, Roland, and pull it away, and it kind of drifts, and it's actually hovering rather than falling limply with gravity. It hovers out towards you, and over in your direction. And Boko, you reach out and grab it, and similarly, it doesn't until you pull it over next to you, away from the tentacles, is when gravity finally takes hold and it falls limply into your hands.
Clyde, seeing this, would like to grab his stuff.
Yeah, and you
Roland's
all
gonna keep pulling with the pickaxe until it no longer hovers, because hovering is bullshit, so he's not gonna grab bullshit.
All right, and so Roland, you carefully extricate it. Everyone else just begins grabbing their pieces and slowly assembling, putting on their boots, putting on their gear, grabbing their weapons. And no ill effects seem to happen. Again, the tentacles just slowly move and gyrate with every so often. And there is one door still closed, as the Theschault and Gael have not found their stuff yet.
Cade will go through and wait basically until each person's done with kind of their room, and then start collecting everything else that's left and putting it in the backpack for the people that are outside the ship.
Okay. And you watch as Octavius stands up and is like, well, what are you all waiting for? Why don't you open the door? And he just kind of flicks his fingers back and forth, and the door just opens up.
Ah, see, now he had the right idea, clearly.
He's a mind flayer, kill him.
Hey, whoa.
And you do see gentle trails of blue that form kind of an illusory hand that actually opens the door.
I don't like this guy.
That's smart. That's smart right there.
And
I don't want to do it anyways.
Within Theschault, Gael, and Octavius do find their gear.
Aha! Finally!
Does Gael get his hat back?
He does get his hat back. His hat is there.
Oh, I'll get his gear back. Oh, wait.
Out of curiosity, is my machinery in working order?
Wow.
You're not sure about the working order. It doesn't seem damaged at all, though.
It's
That's good.
not all gooed up.
Oh, I don't know about that. That sucks.
In fact, there is no residue at all on any of these. There's no liquid, there's no goo, there's no sign of any kind that they've been tampered with.
Oh, there's no black dust of me on my armor.
No, there is not.
Well, I suppose that's good. Are my canisters actually filled still?
They were where you left them whenever they finished.
Well, let's see. I don't actually think I used anything. So cool. I guess they would have been filled.
And you do see as the other group is starting to trail in with you as well. And so once you all have your gear, where are you headed?
I guess we keep going up, right?
Can we ascend this thing farther?
Yes, there are 2 staircases that continue upward.
Does anyone seem seriously injured?
No, not that you can see.
How's Gael doing?
Gael seems fine. Seems moving around. In fact, everyone seems fine. A few people have some small acidic burns on their hands, but other than that, there's almost no impact from the fight at all.
Boko's gonna take a few steps forward, pull the backpack off of his back, and hand it to Sindri, and return the blade to Cade, and thank them both very curtly for their assistance.
And Sindri kind of like offhandedly, thank you. And he is staring at the Schultz armor and how it's all made. That's so pretty. How does it work? What is it? Is it made out of like steel or what?
A couple different alloys, but a lot of steel actually. So
I've never seen armor look like that. It looks kind of a little less sturdy than this. What is it?
It may look a little less sturdy than yours, my boy, but I assure you it's nothing you've seen before. It's the power of steam! Soon to be the future of Karrnath.
I don't get it.
Well, not to worry. I can explain it to you if you want. You see, the way that all of this water works is that it actually expands and it can actually create heat, so I can actually utilize... well, I suppose we should actually keep moving while we do this, don't you think?
But wouldn't that deteriorate the metal? Because metal generally does better if it's dry. If it's constantly moist, it can start deteriorating the metal and rust.
That's true, except for we've made alloys that can actually resist those kind of things.
What's an alloy?
Ah, well, that's a combination of metals. Well,
as these two begin chatting back and forth about different metallurgical properties, you all are heading further up the stairs?
Yeah.
Before we do that, Cade will actually take all the supplies that she's gathered up that was left over and actually come back to this one group that wasn't part of the combat. And just be like, would you terribly mind taking this out to the rest of the group, or did you want to explore the ship more?
One of them kind of steps forward, and you see, again, it's that man who was referred to as Lieutenant, the one with the white and red beard. We were actually coming up to help. We'd be happy to take as much as we can carry down, and we'll come up for another load once we've done that. Is it all safe up here? Do you need any help?
I think we're doing not a bad job. Seem to be in pretty good shape, but if you hear screaming, come help.
Understood. And there's barely a hint of a smile on his lip, but still keeping a very serious facade as they begin to move out and grab gear, putting on their own gear and kind of grabbing some in their hand and in their packs to take back down.
Cade will actually just gently keep the guy named Lieutenant back and just say, we took care of that first room, but be wary.
We saw.
I've already been forewarned that there's both weal and woe on this ship. I'm sure there's more woe to come.
Well, once I get my sword, I'll make sure to go back down in the pools and kill anything else that's still there. Cade kind of gives a curt nod and then goes after the rest of the group that's moving up. Alrighty. And so is anyone staying down here, or is everybody moving up to the next floor?
If I have all of my gear back, then I have no reason to stay down here.
That's a good question. Is anything particularly missing from our belongings?
No, everything. In fact, it is almost exactly where it would be on your body. As if the tendril is holding it in that place. It almost looks like an armor stand, but there is no human form to it.
Huh.
That's kind of a trip.
Oh, I'm glad at least it was wearing it properly. Can I imagine if this thing was crumpled up, I would have to go and dekink all of the different hoses and whatnot. This would be awful.
Yeah, Roland will take a little bit of time to just do a function check on the musket, make sure that the powder isn't wet, and make sure everything is working and strapped perfectly on his person. Make sure his hair is slicked back properly, put on his hat, and then adjust a couple other things on his person, and then he'll be ready to go. So he'll be behind everyone else, but not by much.
Gotta sharpen that edge.
Yeah.
Jasira's kind of snagging or hanging back a little bit too because she wanted to snag some of the items that the guards had because they don't need it anymore.
Sounds good.
Because they've been executed.
I'll get you those items at the end of the session. But yeah, you can pick over what's there. And yeah, you guys do see that the gray-skinned woman does continue to follow fairly quietly after you all continuing with the exploration. But you all move up the stairs into another chamber. Again, the fire here is continuing to rage loudly, but other than that, it's quiet. There is a single additional door on the backside, and then a staircase that continues further up.
The doors move whenever I try to open them.
Boko is going to turn to Cade and say, Captain, where are we going?
So you said that, so there's a door here down the center, and then there's a spiraling staircase kind of going up and up.
It's not really a spiral, and these really aren't stairs. They're more just ramps that kind of continue up, and they're at a very steep angle. But yes, there is another one here in the center that does continue going up. And are you gonna continue to put out the fires on this level as well?
Let me see. It was my one free one for the day. Yeah, I mean, so does this... If these fires are left unchecked, do I think that's gonna block our way out?
It could. They're spreading slowly, but they are spreading. Depending on how long you guys stay in here, we'll tell if they will or not.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll actually use a spell slot this time, and then again kind of make the rain flow in this room so that the fires are, everything is wet now, and the fires get tamped down so that they don't block our way out.
All right.
But given a feel for kind of how ships in general work, do I feel like if we keep heading kind of down that center one, we'd kind of get to a center point on this?
Yeah, it seems like everything is kind of building from the outside in.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna point my staff towards just kind of that center walkway again.
All right. Who's headed up?
Oats, you gonna take the lead again?
Yeah, don't worry. I'll protect all of you.
Hey, not to worry. With me re-equipped, I'll protect you as well, as I'm going to step up there with him.
But it's comfortable behind the tanks.
Oh, the powers!
Loud
Once
and
again.
smashing. Leading the way.
As you all begin to ascend this staircase, you get this itching feeling in your back of your head. Almost like there's a presence there. And then you can
I don't like that.
hear it. This noise. This voice.
That's not uncomfortable.
You who come to steal, to loot, you come to your doom. The mother,
We have our stuff. We should go.
the All-Seer, will consume your souls when she finds you.
Not a fan of that.
And
I think
as
we're going the right way.
Sindri, as you reach the top of the stairs, you do see a massive central chamber. A chair positioned without a view of anything, but with these long, almost metallic tendrils stretching in every direction, all meeting in that central chair. And as you feel that itching behind your neck, you look behind you, and down on the ground is this creature in a black cloak with tendrils coming out of its squid-like head and small pulses of green energy in its hands. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end the session.
Oh.
And this is what I'm
Maybe he's a friend.
So,
Oh, now you
That-
don't want to smash.
I thank you
We
for
ended
all.
before I could do anything.
We'll get to it. Don't worry. There'll be plenty of times for smashing. I thank you all for tuning in to this. I know we were in a little bit long, so I appreciate you guys for hanging in there for that combat. Hopefully that should smooth out as I get more used to having 8 players in a combat. But we'll come back next time as we finish off this exploration through the broken hull of the Nautiloid. We'll see you again next week, 6 p.m. Central. All right, and we're clear.
All right.
Wait,
So
are we actually?
running, yes?
Are we doing one next
Are we,
week?
though?
It's Labor Day, isn't it?